It's draft time, baby. We are here. We're doing it. Time to build out that championship window for your Denver Broncos. Could not be more excited to be doing this. Draft starts in 4 minutes, but you guys all know then that'll be the clock starting for another 15. So while the draft milks this whole thing as long as they can, we, on the other hand, could not wait to get into an exciting announcement for ALLCITY and DNVR, this 3-year partnership we're kicking off with Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Colorado, and we are so excited to have the CEO of Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Colorado here, Alicia Cook.
Alicia Cook, that's right.
It is wonderful to have you here, Alicia. For those who don't know, tell us a little bit about Big Brothers, Big Sisters. Just such an amazing organization, so valuable. Give people the bare bones of what it is you guys do if they, perchance, had never heard of you before.
Okay, well, thank you for this partnership. This is my first draft party, so I'm so excited. I've seen some cool hats here. I'm going to get it made.
That's right.
Thank you very much. I'm the CEO of Big Brothers, Big Sisters Colorado, and we ignite the power and potential of youth through mentoring. So we partner people like you, people from the community, with youth to serve as a mentor. And a lot of people, especially men, are really afraid of that one-on-one mentoring relationship. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. Consistency is a gift. It's a gift of love to the youth that we serve.
Well, and that's so amazing. And this is something I found as an older brother, as a father, in other mentorship. It's amazing how much you think the kids will get out of it, and you don't realize on the mentorship side how much the big gets out of it, not just the little.
Absolutely.
It's really such an enriching experience and mutually enriching, you know?
Yes, absolutely. And you're exactly right. I myself am a big. It's one of my greatest joys. And when we collect information or data or meet, and we have a graduation coming up, 22 kids going to graduate with us who have had bigs for at least 6 years. And I encourage any of you to come to the graduation. It's nothing but tears from the big as well as the little and the families. And hands down, the big gets just as much out of it as the little does.
Isn't that wonderful?
That's awesome. How did you start getting involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters?
Oh my gosh, well, I have been in the mentoring industry for about 25 years, and that's because I felt like I wanted to become the person I needed most when I was a child. I was raised in the inner city of Detroit, Michigan, to a teen mom. I lived in an area called the Black Bottom of Detroit, and it was that area because one of the areas most affected by the riots. I was born pretty much into challenge. My mom literally had to be police escorted during the riots to the hospital with me. And my whole life, I'm not meant to be who I am without the mentors that I have. It was mentors who stepped in every step of the way to take me from that story to a first-generation high school and college graduate, and now as the CEO of one of the largest mentoring organizations in the nation. Very much like some of these kids we're going to see. My story is the same. So I wanted to be who I needed most as a child, and here I am in front of all of you.
What an inspiring story. And I mean, it just reminds me of, there's no feeling like being a youngster and feeling that hopelessness you can feel because of your circumstances.
Absolutely. And our area code should never determine our outcomes.
Yeah.
Area code should not determine outcomes.
Yeah.
Kids are innocent.
No doubt, no doubt. So we are so excited to bring this to our community. Obviously, Denver, Colorado means so much to us. The youth of this community means so much to us. And we are so excited to be able to serve them, to be able to share. You know, Hank and I were so lucky. We live like dream lives, right? We get to talk sports for a living. We get to do this. We get to have these beautiful people that we can talk sports with. Just this mutual love we have. I cannot wait to share that with bigs and littles alike as we get going on this partnership. What other activities, things, events going on in the community can we kind of highlight to our community?
Well, first of all, we just don't match people from the community with the little. We love up on schools. You know, at many of our schools, there's one counselor for every 400 students. Can you believe that?
Wow.
So we do a peer mentoring program where we train high school students to be mentors to younger youth. And studies show if you had a mentor as a child, you're 36% more likely to engage in your community or volunteer as a mentor in your community. But if you were a mentor, that increases to 48%. So we have a school-based mentoring program. We have STEM mentoring. We have career mentoring called Big Futures. But there are so many ways for people out there to get involved. The number one way is that no matter how hard we try, it's really hard to get our waiting list below 300. And out of that 300, nearly 80% of boys are waiting for a mentor. So that's why it was so exciting to partner with you and to be here tonight, because we need men mentors more than anything. But we have all kinds of events you can support. We have a 3-day national conference, July 11th through the 14th.
Fantastic.
And always looking for support, mentoring. We have a program where you can come into the schools and talk to the kids about your career. You can always do that. We have a graduation coming up. And we always just need funding. These programs don't happen free in the community for nothing. So we're always looking for donors, sponsors, and probably the biggest thing is our big little gala where we're hoping to have 500 people and raise $500,000 on September 11th. Would love to have you out, and anybody in the audience, go talk to your companies.
Let's do it. Fantastic. Alicia, a true natural on the mic.
I love
this.
it.
You might have to come back and break down some picks for us. What I'd leave you with is, if you want to get involved, if you want to find out more, you can start by going to BBS.org/ALLCITY to find out more about this partnership. We'll be talking about it through the show. If you want to learn more, Alicia and Lakeisha are over there. So anyone attending the party can go check that out and get more information. Alicia, thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I'm sitting here partying with you the whole time, or I'm going to get to go out and mingle?
You get to go out and mingle.
Okay, call me back because I want to tell you some of the great work that we're doing. And I'm going to be pushing hard for those mentors tonight.
Count on it. Count on it. Give her a big round of applause. Thank you so much, Alicia. Thank you. Don't forget that headset.
I know. I like it.
Beautiful.
The commissioner's on a bike.
Wow. What? That's a hard transition for us, huh? The commissioner
totally.
On a bike.
More.
Oh, okay. Are these all GMs?
No.
Did you guys all come in here with bikes? Is that what was happening? Okay, Henry. Well, we're calling this the Big Draft. That is... Oh, wow. And Big Brothers, Big Sisters being represented in Green Bay.
Wow.
You love to see that.
Awesome.
Wow, the synergy for us is just incredible. So, Henry, if I may.
You may.
Your Big Draft takeaway.
Yes.
What do you think is your big draft? What's the ideal draft for the Broncos as the commissioner gets ready to spew some nonsense on stage in Green Bay and the legends are are booing him as they should in Lambeau. If you want to boo the commissioner with the rest of Lambeau, feel free. We won't take offense. We know you're not booing us.
Well, big draft. I think it starts with what Diana Rossini just tweeted 4 minutes ago.
Wow.
The Denver Broncos making an aggressive push to get into the top 10 per sources.
Wow.
I think if this is a big draft, I think that's how you do it. It's make a big move, and I think there's a good chance that it happens. There have been the rumors all week, starting with Adam Schefter saying the Broncos are trying harder than anybody else to get up there. Rappaport saying the same thing.
Our
all
very
the vibes
own
that they
Zach
want to go up.
Stevens saying
Zach Stevens as well.
Moving up for Colston Loveland. That was then followed up by Mike Kliz saying the same thing. And beyond the Broncos trying to move up, kind of the rumor du jour, that's French, guys. That's of the day for you. I am.
Yeah.
Though my name might
How
throw
would you
you
say
off.
that in Italian?
Del giorno.
Oh, because you kind
Del
of stole
giorno,
it.
yeah. Which, isn't that kind of a pizza company?
It is, yes.
Yeah. So anyways, no free ads here. But the other rumor is that the Browns are very much open for business at the second overall pick and might be trying to move out of that. So I wonder, could the Broncos move up all the way to number 2? Could Travis Hunter be a future Bronco?
Unfortunately, the answer is just a hard no. You know, we were talking about it this week. I think sent the tweet out. It was, should the Broncos, if the Broncos had the opportunity, should they trade their first this year, their second this year, their first next year, their second next year, in order to get up to number 2 and go get Travis Hunter? And surprisingly, a lot of the response was no. I was shocked by how many people said don't do that, even though just like draft trade value-wise, it'd be the most lopsided trade in the history of the draft. Like you could trade 3 first-round picks. That's Lil Wayne. You could trade 3 first-round picks, and you still wouldn't be giving up as much. And that's before you factor in that, you know, next year's first isn't as valuable as this year, so you have to discount that, discount the next. The point is, you're looking at 3 first-round picks at least probably to get up there. And because of that, it just isn't going to happen.
Really, though?
Yeah, unfortunately, really, though. But, again, like, I think as soon as you get down past number 5, I think it's in play. Again, the reason we think the Broncos have a real chance to do this, there's all the reports, there's all that sort of stuff. What's it number? There have been 20 drafts that Sean Payton has been the head coach for, and is it 17 of them he's traded up? That can't be right, but I'm pretty sure somebody said that on the ESPN broadcast when I was driving over here. You know, Sean Payton
it was
trades
more
up.
like 4, but maybe.
Yeah, I don't really trust them. Yeah, I mean, Sean Payton loves to trade up. The big stat is that he's never traded down. You add all this stuff together, you add in the fact that the Broncos are kind of set up with only one big hole. I could see them trading up for a running back.
Yes. And aside from Ashton Jeanty, are they trading up for... Are there multiple running back targets, or is it a bit of a Ashton Jeanty or bust as far as moving up goes?
For me personally, it's Ashton Jeanty or bust. Also, Titans officially on the clock, so the draft has commenced.
You love to see that. Okay.
Yes.
10 minutes away from something actually happening, and then that'll just be a Cam Ward pick.
Yep.
And then we'll be 10 minutes away from something actually happening, because I do think the other rumor du jour is the top 10 is going to have some fireworks. It's going to have some surprises for us. So I think this draft, you know, we're not going to have to wait till the 20th pick. I think we'll have something to get excited about and see pretty early on, maybe even starting at the second pick.
Yep.
Any chance we get surprised with this first pick of the Titans, or is it Cam Ward and nothing else?
Well, I made a bet a ways back that Travis Hunter would go number 1 overall. So I'm still holding out a bit of hope right there.
Right.
But no, I mean, it's Cam Ward. I think
Last
at this point,
May, I think I bet on Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter first overall. So if that happens, guys, we're making some money tonight, so that'd be wonderful.
Yeah. What is Adam Schefter out there? The sport coat over a hoodie, I've never been able to get behind. The dress shirt underneath makes it even tougher.
It's really rough. Also, it looks like the weather in Green Bay is just disgusting right now.
Oh, who could have guessed?
How dare they?
Yeah.
How dare they?
Yeah, I was just in Minnesota
we can't relate.
last weekend.
And was it terrible?
The weather was terrible.
Right.
Let's be specific.
Beautiful visit, however, yes.
A lot of great stuff. Played some golf and some wind.
Good. I'm glad, Henry.
Looks like this
Oh, the
pick might be
Titans making
coming.
a call. If the Titans actually get this draft moving before their time is up, oh man, I think they caught the Titans front office calling Cam Ward, and then they caught Cam Ward picking up his phone and answering the call. So if the draft broadcast caught this right, it's going to be Cam Ward. He will be a Titan in less than 8 minutes right now. The former Miami quarterback, who some are very irresponsibly comparing to Patrick Mahomes. I'll just say this. I was at the Colorado Pro Day with all the NFL scouts and everyone else, and it was interesting to me that there were 2 cameramen from the Titans social team who followed Shedeur the entire time.
Oh, wow.
They were locked in.
Wow.
And then right after they canceled their visit with Shedeur Sanders, and I almost wonder if all that was a smokescreen. Now, that would be a massive upset. I mean, massive, probably as big an upset as Penix being drafted by the Falcons 8th overall last year. But, I just love some good excitement during the draft, and I'm rooting for chaos, guys. I hope you all are rooting for chaos as well, on top of the Broncos being able to get a phenomenal pick. While we talk through all that, I would also invite a former Bronco, the man, the myth, the legend, Bennie Fowler, onto our show. Bennie, fantastic new addition to the crew. We have loved having him on so much. And Bennie, gracious enough, pardon us, we'll figure this out.
Oh, it sounds bad in my ears. I can't imagine what it sounds like out there.
People are whistling for Bennie Fowler. They love number 16.
That was all just whistles for Bennie.
What's up, boys?
How's it going? How we doing, Bennie?
Draft day.
Oh.
Yeah, big time.
Let's go. Let's go. It's time.
You blessed us with a column on the website today.
Yeah, I didn't know you write.
Yeah, I love writing. I mean, I wrote my book in 2020.
Of course.
Released my book in 2020, but I love sharing the perspective of, my thoughts as a player, where the Broncos are, where we are with our ownership group, and just giving a little insight into what I think, regardless of, who we pick at 20, we have the right infrastructure in place. Thank God we're not picking a quarterback, and we're not thinking about a quarterback right now and thinking about the future of our quarterback situation. So now we're in a really good spot, really good situation, and I'm looking forward to seeing who we pick today.
Totally.
It's the most chill draft I've ever had going in, because it's just like, wow, we just need to worry about skill positions. Like, we're going to have fun tonight, this is going to be a really good time no matter what happens, no matter how you splice it. What do you think?
Yeah.
Splice it?
Yeah, no, I like it.
Is that
creative.
all right?
No, I mean, typically people say slice it, but splice is even better.
Okay, that makes sense. What do you think of these rumors that the Broncos are trying to move up? Aggressively trying to move up, Bennie.
Is that a smoke screen? Now that, Sean is like, he always has these tricks up his sleeve. So is it just a smoke screen right now to, have somebody else make a different move? I'm curious to see, if we do trade up, who is it really for? And then how much are we trading up? Like, are we trading up from 20 to inside the top 10? What are we giving up for that?
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what they're thinking, or, what is actually going on inside those meeting rooms or on the phone with those phone calls.
Sounds like the Browns at 2 are open for business. As Henry was saying, that would be truly an aggressive move up.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to trade, make the kind of trade you'd make for a franchise quarterback at
Record
that point.
setting, yeah.
Yeah. If you trade for number 2, if you're trading for number 2,
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
you're obviously going Jeanty.
Or Travis?
Hunter?
Yeah.
I think it could be Travis. But it's not gonna happen regardless.
If we got Travis Hunter, that would be insane.
It would be insane.
Yeah.
It would be insane.
You guys think Abdul Carter is out of
Nope.
because if they moved up to 2, they might be interested in Carter. Shoot, I could see them interested in Mason Graham at that point.
I would love for them to go get Carter if they trade up to. If you trade up to number 2, I don't think you can go wrong because of what you said earlier.
Yeah.
We are now in a position to where it is all additive. We're adding the right people because we're not going after a quarterback. So we're looking for game changers. We're looking for game records. Or, as John Fox used to call it, we're looking for war daddies. War daddies, that's something
Interesting.
that, after a game and somebody was wrecking the game, like a Von Miller, like a DeMarcus Ware, those are your war daddies. So if you trade up, you get Abdul Carter, that's a war daddy right there. Travis Hunter, is definitely a war daddy on both sides of the ball. So that's what they're looking for if they're trading up for number 2. And you can't really go wrong with based off the fact that we have a quarterback now.
Yeah,
Oh,
no doubt.
boy.
Number 5 would also be the other spot. However, go ahead, Hank. Tell the people.
Adam Schefter tweet, ESPN sources, Browns are trading the number 2 overall pick, a 4th-round pick, and a 6th-round pick to the Jaguars. Jaguars are sending the number 5 pick, 2nd-round pick, 4th-round pick, next year's 1st-round pick. So the Jags get number 2. The Browns now move to number 5.
Wow. And in the meantime, Cam Ward has become a Tennessee Titan. So 1 pick is off the board.
Jaguars on the
wow.
clock there.
And now the Jaguars on the clock
Are
at
they going
2.
Jeanty? Does Jeanty go this high?
I think it's Travis.
They need so many. They have so many needs.
Yeah.
But that will get people. Well, Travis is from Florida, correct?
Yeah. I mean,
True.
early on, that
True.
was the talk, that was the perfect match for him. And then he kind of was, they dropped in the draft and he's going too high. So that trade also very modest.
Totally.
Like 4th and a 6th, that's nothing,
Yeah.
That's
3
hardly
picks.
the Trubisky trade where, you moved up 1 spot. And I think Trubisky cost the Bears a lot more to move up for than what the Jags just pulled off.
What's crazy is that I'm a huge Travis Hunter fan. I just hate to see him going to.
Move the mic a little bit towards your mouth.
I just hate to see him going to Jacksonville. I don't want to see him go to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I want to see him have a real chance to change a franchise. Obviously, he is a franchise changer when it comes to the position that he plays and the impact that he could have. But I don't want to see him in Jacksonville. They don't play on TV enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they might if they have Travis Hunter,
Oh,
Receiver
man.
can only do
That's
so
a
much.
really
Receiver
bad
ain't
division, too.
What was the old saying? Like, the NBA has big markets. The NFL is the market. You know, it doesn't matter where you play, that you have the opportunity to be a star in the NFL. And I don't know what the Browns are doing. Were the Browns smoke screening us this whole time, and they're taking Shador at 5 now?
Could be. That's absolutely possible.
Because they're not a Jeanty team, are they? Are they a T-Mac
No.
team? Are they just going to take an O-lineman? Like, what are the Cleveland Browns doing if they don't draft Shador Sanders?
I had forgotten. I have that bet on Tedero McMillan to go number 5. Now 5 is not the Jags, it's the Browns. I want to go big picture here because, I think the past few drafts the Broncos have had a 1st-round pick. There's been a pretty clear storyline. Last year, it's the Broncos need a quarterback. And there's all the rumors it's Bo Nix. You have all the other teams trying to get quarterbacks. Broncos sitting there at 12. Will they actually do it? Those guys, and that's what the whole draft is about. It's about getting the quarterback. Didn't have a 1st-round pick for a couple years before that, thanks to Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. But before that, you have the Fields draft, where it's like, will the Broncos take Justin Fields, or are they going to wait? They had just signed Teddy Bridgewater, wind up going Pat Surtain. Before that, at least on our draft show, we're sitting there saying please Jerry Jeudy, please Jerry Jeudy, please Jerry Jeudy, and he winds up falling, and it's electric, and you get Jerry Jeudy, and now things didn't quite work out the way we had hoped at that point. But this time around.
Well, Jerry's hoping he gets a quarterback in a couple picks.
Jerry is. But this time around, there isn't as much of a clear storyline. And maybe it is as simple as, do the Broncos make a huge splash move and try to get up and add an Ashton Jeanty, add somebody who just takes the team to another level?
Yeah, I think they do. I think, if you're trading up, you're definitely trying to make a splash, for sure. I mean, that's without question. If they stay put at 20, it's best player available. It's the safest pick, which is fine.
Yep.
We don't need to reach for anything right now. We're in a good position. We've closed the gap in the AFC West with what we did in free agency. Now, what's the next step? I think the next step is another playmaker for Bo. It could be offensively or it could be defensively.
Yep.
If we add somebody on defense, that is a plus for Bo. We want to get as many possessions as possible for our offense. So I don't think we can go wrong here. Now, if we reach up and we go into the top 10, we better get a game changer. If we're going, if we're going to reach up to the top 10, we better be getting Jeanty.
And I think that there's good reason to do it. I wrote on the website yesterday, you guys should all go read it, DNVR.com. Maybe not as good as what Benny wrote, but it is what it is.
It's better. Yours is better.
Your words, not his. Okay.
It's
not a competition. We're all on the same team here.
I'm of the belief there's a good chance the Broncos championship window closes after the 28 or 29 season. And the reason is because you look through this century,
Could we say Titans instead of closes?
Let me go.
Okay.
Let me go.
Okay.
So you look through
Fair
this
enough.
entire century, and there have been 2 quarterbacks who have won a Super Bowl while making 12.5% of their team's salary cap space. It's Patrick Mahomes and it's Tom Brady. Every other quarterback who's won a Super Bowl, the team has been able to invest money in other places, help them out. You expand that to quarterbacks who even made the Super Bowl. You get to include Peyton Manning, another all-time great, and Matt Ryan. So there's one guy in there who didn't do it. But then the rest of the list of quarterbacks who made a Super Bowl under 12.5% of the cap, and it's not always big
Jalen
names.
Hurts isn't a part of that?
No, so he's in the extension. He only made $13 million last year. So the big money hasn't kicked in yet. But that was when it happened, I was like, oh, there goes my stat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's been the history, is you need to have a quarterback on a cheap contract or an all-time great. Now, we all hope Bo Nix is an all-time great. We hope he's Mahomes. We hope he's Brady. More realistically, though, there is that scenario where you got kind of his 4 or 5 years, and you could make the splash move to open that window now.
We have to open the window now.
I think it's tempting.
Yeah, you have to open the window now. You got 4 years to do it.
Yeah.
You have to open the window now. It's mandatory. And, I mean, that's great stats in terms of what you said, but
The pick is in.
The pick is in. The Jaguars have selected. Give it to me, Aya.
The pick is in. The Jaguars, Travis Hunter. At least that's what Albert Breer has said.
Well done, Albert. Well done.
Yep. So Travis Hunter goes to the Jaguars. We're all very sad that he will not be on TV. We will not see him again for at least a few years.
we won't see him till free agency in 2028.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it's true.
If he demands a trade.
Totally.
This, aside from the Broncos pick, is the one pick I want to see on the actual ticker, because I want to see what position they announced the Travis Hunter pick at. I'm
Athlete.
guessing wide receiver.
Athlete.
Athlete would be electric.
That would be the only player to ever be drafted as an athlete.
In the NFL, I mean, yeah, who does that? That'd
Yep.
be incredible, no doubt. I can't believe the Jags did that. I mean, for a pretty irrelevant franchise, this is an aggressive move. And I also wonder what the implications are for these Browns, who now are loaded up. How many picks in the top 50?
They now
Something
have
like 5?
33 and 36. So 5, 33, 36. I'm not sure. I think that's it.
They want to move up to 20 and give us 33 and 36. I might be open to that. Twist my arm. I could do that. No problem.
That's the flip side of the trade-up conversation. Is as excited as we are about the potential to move up, go get Tedero and McMillan, some blue chip receiver, blue chip running back, blue chip tight end who could
Do you
just
think we
change
trade
the
up to
offense.
get a receiver?
Only for T-Mac. I think T-Mac. And I know the reports out there.
What about
was that-
Golden?
I don't think they do it.
Which
I could be wrong.
I thought it was
I could be
interesting.
wrong.
Golden was the only wide receiver mentioned for the Broncos in that final week leading up for the
Yep.
draft. There was no Igbuka
That's
talk, not a ton of Luther Burden talk, not
Yep.
any Tatorio McMillan talk. It was all Matthew Golden, who, Benny, you've played for Sean Payton.
Yeah.
You, I would describe as kind of a prototypical Sean Payton wide receiver.
Yes.
Bigger, trustworthy, route runner, solid hands. Maybe not a burner, with all due respect. You're much
Yes.
faster than me.
Sean Payton.
But I don't think you ran a 4.29 either.
no,
you
I
know?
wish I did.
We all do, Benny. We all
still
do.
be playing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
But see, that's the thing, though. Sean Payton chooses you.
Yeah.
He has no interest in me or Dre being his receiver. None.
I think, yeah, Sean likes bigger receivers, and I think he liked bigger receivers because Drew was so small. Drew was a shorter quarterback. It's harder for him to see. He could see bigger receivers down the field or in the middle of the field. So that's why I think McMillan?
McMillan,
yep.
Yeah, I think McMillan could be that potential draft pick. But I also like Golden. He's had some slot guys. Lance Moore was a smaller slot guy.
Yeah.
Deontay Harris was a smaller
Brandon
slot guy.
Cooks, right?
Brandon Cooks
The
is a
one
smaller
guy who's drafted in the first rounder, reminiscent of Matthew Golden.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Matthew Golden's got the best hands besides Travis Hunter in this draft to me in terms of ball skills, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. And
By the
there
way,
we
I
go.
wanna
The
acknowledge
applause
the
in the
Jaguar.
room. And hey, it's not athlete, but he is listed as a cornerback / wide receiver.
That's a first.
Quickly, though, the important question here, the real draft implications are, what do you guys think of the pink suit?
I like the pink suit, and he still looks classy. It's still fitted the right way. Great smile. Super happy for him.
The all green from Shamar Stewart, though, that's rough.
Shout out to Jacksonville, though, in terms of making a great pick that will put some fans in the stands.
It's true.
You know, if you're going to come see a show, if you want to come
Yeah.
see a show and see something that hasn't been done in the NFL like this before, you draft Travis Hunter. Merchandise sales already go up. Season ticket sales will go up because you now have a dynamic playmaker like him. He's one of the best athletes to ever be drafted. So shout out to him and shout out to Jacksonville for making that pick.
Yep.
One of one, no doubt. I mean, I think this is a guy who in 10 years, a lot of us might be saying like, oh yeah, I remember being at Stoney's when Travis Hunter got drafted, and now he's like this phenom on two sides of the ball, making history, doing things we've never seen in the NFL.
Sean Payton trades from him for 3 years.
Ooh,
Sign
okay.
me
Call
up.
your shot. Call your shot.
Me up.
Bring him back.
I would love
Bring
that.
him back home.
It'd be so good. It'd be so good. Going back to the trade conversation, though, like I was saying, so we all want to see the trade up. It'd be a lot of fun. The flip side of that, though, there could be a pretty good trade down opportunity because the Steelers are sitting there at pick 21, and we don't know where Shedeur Sanders is going to go. This morning, his betting line was at 21.5, pick 21.5. And, you know, the under was favored, but still, you might see this quarterback market not really solidify, and next thing you know, everybody's saying the Steelers at 21 are trying to go get their quarterback of the future. Shedeur's still there. Meanwhile, you have the Browns seeing their picks 33 and 35. You got all sorts of different teams who could be interested in that pick in particular to jump right in front of the Steelers. And if that's the case, trading down, which Sean Payton has never done before, could make a lot of sense.
I would love to see us trade down and actually get a couple more picks because there's so much talent actually that you can draft later on in this draft or early in the second round. You know, maybe we give up, you know, our pick here at 20, but we get 2 picks early in the first, in the second round, and then you are able to get a running back and a receiver. Great value adds. You know, everybody's been talking about, you know, this draft is top heavy in terms of the top 10 talent. And other than that, you know, it's pretty much, you know, second round picks.
Exactly.
Day 2 picks, day 3 picks. So I wouldn't mind us trading back at all.
I agree.
If you're not getting a Travis Hunter who's already gone and Ashton Jeanty's already gone, Abdul Carter, you can find a lot of great value in the second round or in later rounds.
And to your point, Sean Payton said last week, or maybe it was George Payton. Two Paytons, it's always tricky. They said that pick 13, the value you get there, pretty similar to the value you get at pick 39.
And
which is a similar range. Yeah. Like, I was surprised it was that big, but to kind of nail down, I think they said 7 picks before us to the 7th pick of the second round, very similar players.
I trust their value. I trust the due diligence that they've done. I think George Payton also said that he's never done or had never been this prepared for a draft. And I think you have to be this prepared for a draft because the margin of talent is actually very slim. It's not a huge, wide gap, you know, after pick 13 or 14.
Yeah, the narrative is it's not a star draft, it's a starters draft. As we have someone entering with, is that a Tyler Warren 44 jersey?
No, I saw the 44 early. I couldn't figure out. We'll keep an eye on him when he comes back.
This Giants pick that the pick is in, this is a big one. We'll see if we go chalk with Abdul Carter.
Is it Shedeur?
They have done a lot of due diligence on Shedeur Sanders. That's a general manager and a head coach who are fighting for their lives. I mean, if they don't figure it out and turn the tide this season, I don't know how they stay employed. Shedeur Sanders and his media dexterity, let's say, how he comports himself, how he
comports him. Wow, yeah.
How he can, you know, how he
on
can
fire.
handle a room. It takes me back to that time, and the pick is in. Lay it on me, Yaya. It is Abdul Carter.
Okay.
Nice. Wow.
Nice.
Okay.
Kayvon Thibodeau and Abdul Carter, those are your edge rushers. Not bad.
Is Thibodeau still in a trade block, I heard?
Could be.
That's the rumor.
Could be.
So.
I remember I was at Pac-12 Media Day in L.A. That would have been 2021, I want to say. That'd be right. And Kayvon Thibodeau was there. And I walked past him, and I was like, oh, my goodness. This man is massive. And then he went to the NFL and hasn't been that good.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. You go into an organization that really isn't that good.
It's a high
He's had a lot of ups
Yeah.
and downs. I think Kayvon Thibodeau got drafted by Joe Judge, if I'm correct.
Oh.
that's just not a great organization.
Right.
A couple different head coaches. There's just a lot going on there. Inconsistent quarterback play. He's had some injuries. It just becomes tough. And he might just need a new, fresh scenery. He might, a new place to play. I think when you draft somebody like this, he now becomes your guy. Does Kayvon actually feel threatened by him now?
Totally.
That becomes super tough. When we drafted Shane Ray, we saw it as a compliment to Von, but also it was also a signal to Von that, hey, you might be on your way out.
Right.
So when you draft an Abdul Carter here at number 3, it's also a signal to Kayvon, like, hey, you might not be our guy anymore. Either you got this last year, but you better come in here and kill it because we're about to give all the money to this guy.
Right.
So.
Also, a storyline that maybe just interests me, if you watched both Abdul Carter and Micah Parsons in their time at Penn State, both wore number 11 and truly clones of each other. Now they are rivals in the same division, so that adds a nice
That is fun.
little layer. While we see if the Patriots draft Will Campbell, the offensive tackle, everyone has them mocked, or they trade out of the pick, which was a rumor at some point that if Hunter and Abdul Carter were gone by that 4th pick, they were open for business, and the Bears were interested in moving up to number 4 to draft Ashton Jeanty, which I think we would not enjoy. The room here might not enjoy. We're going to take a super quick commercial break and get into all those topics on the other side. And I want to tell you real quick about our good friends at Raising Cane's. Raising Cane's Flavor Fast. They're in the corner right there. We've got some swag here for Cane's, and you know it from their hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and secret cane sauce that is made in restaurant every single day. Are you hungry yet? Our guys are eating here. On the stream, though, you might be getting hungry after that one. Go to Cane's, order some for yourself. Nothing better. Our guy Justin Michael, Rams reporter extraordinary, doing some amazing coverage on the Avs as well. He loves to take the Texas toast and use it to make a sandwich, put a little slaw and cane sauce in it.
Good.
Dive into Flavor Flav's faves. What are you waiting for? It's Cane's O'Clock. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love, my friends. And also a read I've wanted to do my entire life. Monster Jam, that's right. Experience Monster Jam live and become a fan for life with awesome trucks, awesome, amazing stunts, action-packed excitement, and big air. It's the definition of fun for everyone. Watch as a 12,000-pound trucks stand on 2 wheels and fly through the air. Start your day of fun with the Monster Jam Pit Party and see the massive trucks up close. Most popular trucks like Grave Digger, El Toro Loco, Sparkle Smash, and more. Only at Monster Jam.
Sparkle Smash.
As big as it gets. Monster Jam hits in Power Field. You know it as Mile High Stadium on April 26th. Check out the link in the description for tickets. That's right. Leave us a thumbs up as well if you are watching said link. Yes. Now the draft really starts, fellas. We got a little, just to wet our beaks, we got that fun little trade at 2 to 5. But now the draft really begins at number 4 with the New England Patriots. And I think we start to officially be on Ashton Jeanty watch. The pick is in, I'm told. Give it to me, Yaya. Wow.
Will Campbell.
Will Campbell
little baby arms.
is the number 4 pick. Yes, 32.5-inch arms. He has baby arms. And
hey, Dre, you said that the draft is getting ready to start now. What did you mean by that?
Yeah.
Well, we've gone, the first 3 picks were somewhat predicted. Okay. I think this pick was somewhat predicted. And now the draft really starts. Yeah. Now the unpredictable should begin. And what I should also mention is this Browns trade might have quietly opened the door for the Broncos to trade up and get Ashton Jeanty.
Yes.
Because in the lead up this week, that 5 spot for the Jags had kind of become the popular spot where Jeanty was going to be drafted, right? It seemed less likely that the Raiders would do that at 6. The Raiders, the hot pick for them is Kelvin Banks, the left tackle from Texas, 6th overall. So if he doesn't go to 5, and I don't think the Browns would take him at 5. I think the Jaguars would have had Travis Hunter not been around. I don't think the Browns do. We are on kind of Ashton Jeanty watch. Where could he drop? Thus far, the first 4 picks have gone kind of chalky. Now the fun truly begins with Cleveland at 5.
Yep. Now people have to start really building their roster, really have to be thoughtful about their picks. It's not just as easy just to say, oh, hey, this is what we're going to do, or like, you have these no-brainer picks like a Travis Hunter. Now you have to really think about the real roster construction now. It's not as easy. But I think there are still some more fireworks to come.
Yes.
I think there are still more fireworks to
Big
come
time.
in terms of trades, in terms of moving up, in terms of draft position. What do the Saints do at 9? That'll be interesting. Do they try to trade up? Do they trade back?
Yeah.
What do the Bears do? Do they try to trade up? Do they try to get Jeanty? And now I think it's going to start really getting really interesting in terms of teams vying for position to move up to find the player that is not number 1 on their board.
100%.
Are we on the same page here that
Lay it
the
on me.
ideal situation is Ashton Jeanty?
For us?
Yeah.
I'm a Jeanty
Ideal.
guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be the ideal
Depends on what we have to get up to move to get up.
combo.
Yeah.
Right. In some ways, I'd almost prefer to stay at 20 and take your Travion Henderson, take your Emeka Egbuka, figure out.
You're Henderson over Hampton?
I am.
Okay.
I am, though. I like Hampton. I think he brings a lot of stuff. He's just.
Who's the better receiving back? I think Hampton's the better receiving back.
So there
you go.
It depends. So Travion Henderson, if you put him out in the slot, you put him at receiver, that's something he did more than almost any running back in the country last year. Okay. But numbers-wise, you would say it is Hampton who, 43 catches, something like that. Yeah. But those catches, little screens, little swing passes, give him the ball, let him go.
That's switch to Sean's offense.
There's some of that, but there's also the flex him out to the slot, get that one-on-one matchup. It's a what flavor are you looking for?
Yeah.
It's what flavor are you looking for?
I mean, if Henderson's lining up in the slot like that and catching that many passes at a receiver, that's impressive.
It is. You get the motion, you get to break it's the Jameer Gibbs, Alvin Kamara, okay.
He was seen as a second rounder and then got drafted 10th overall
It's
and
true.
has been a slam dunk pick.
Gibbs?
Yeah.
Gibbs has another step of speed.
Slam dunk
Yep.
But
pick.
that's a slam dunk pick because of the offensive line, which I think we have a top 5 offensive line.
Right.
So to have that dynamic playmaking ability right there would be incredible.
Yep.
Here.
Gibbs with the 4.38 40, Henderson with the 4.45. So there is just that touch of difference, and can you tell on tape? Is that enough to actually matter? Is it just down to strategy?
Oh, yeah,
Is it just come down to training, though, for that 40-yard dash? It's close enough where I think there is a difference.
You think it's close
We've
enough for game
got
speed?
the 5th pick in. This one's going to be electric.
Mason
Wow, Mason Graham
Interesting.
is the Browns pick at 5. What a Browns move here to just take a meat and potatoes
Mason
defensive
Graham.
tackle from Michigan.
You need that. I mean, I'm not a Michigan guy by any
That's right,
means.
that's
I'm
right.
always going to talk crap about that school down
Yes,
the road.
please do,
but
please do.
I think that is a great pick for them. You locked up Myles Garrett. This is somebody who can come in and make an immediate impact. Defensive linemen can come in and make an immediate impact right away. There's not a lot to a scheme. You have somebody in Myles Garrett in terms of who's going to bring a double team. So this guy's going to have plenty of one-on-ones and plenty of opportunities to make plays. He can play in the cold. I don't know if he's a Midwest kid, but he'll have an incredible opportunity.
I actually don't know where he's from. The question, though, is just the upside with him. I mean, we talk about short arms with Will Campbell. We go back-to-back short arm guys. Mason Graham here, too.
Was Aaron Donald a short arm guy?
He was
he was
smaller in general. Was he short arms?
Yeah,
and that's
Aaron
the upside.
Donald's 6'1".
He's also built
Undersized in general, yeah.
built differently, though. Muscular, chiseled. Mason Graham has got a bit of a belly on him. And a lot of what he did is just I'm going to line up. I'm going to run straight through this gap, and you can't stop me.
Right.
Again, we have Brian Baldinger on the podcast earlier this week who shared some of those same concerns. Where it's, this is going to be a good football player.
Yep.
But does he really have the upside to be a Pro Bowl type player And do you need that to be a top 5 pick?
Yeah, you do. You need to have that type of upside, but also he can learn how to be a pro. We talk about the body composition right now. Those things like that can be changed with diet and the right people around you. And now when money is on the line, when there's a potential opportunity to make even more money, especially at the defensive tackle position, I think some of those things can be changed. Now, they're not going to win a lot of games, but he's playing in a very tough division.
And I mean, a division that's based in the trenches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't win in the trenches, you're going to have a hard time against Baltimore, against Pittsburgh.
True. Against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
You know, beasts. And so, I think, the Browns usually make pretty horrible decisions early on in the draft. I see this as a pretty sound decision.
Yep.
It's a safe pick. It's a safe pick.
It is.
And this leaves the door open for Ashton Jeanty still on the board. It leaves the door open for the Browns to still want to trade up with the Broncos at the 20th pick and maybe get 33 and 36 out of it, which, sign me up. And it still leaves Shedeur Sanders on the board. I wonder, could the Raiders or Jets be interested at the next 2 picks? 6 and 7. Also, circling back to our arm length conversation, because the Aaron Donald comp is an interesting one. Aaron Donald, the most prototypical one gap defensive lineman you'll ever see, right? So, just in layman terms, one gap, your responsibility is that one gap. So you can shoot it, you can just worry about that one gap, go get it.
Just don't let anybody through.
2 gapping, where you're asked to take up a couple O-linemen, right? Be responsible for 2 running lanes, so you can't just shoot that gap. Length really benefits you there to kind of keep those guys occupied. Without that length, he's going to have to find other ways to keep multiple O-linemen occupied and kind of buy himself some time before he commits to one of those 2 gaps that are his responsibility.
And that was part of the question that I had, because one of the holes in the profile is that he didn't have the strongest anchor. So you'd think, with that piece, you would like to be able to hold your ground, but you throw in that he doesn't always hold his ground so well, and all of a sudden you start to wonder exactly if fit. We're nitpicking a guy who's been penciled in as a top 5 pick for months, though.
We'll see how it all plays out, but he's played for pro coaches, pro head coaches.
Yeah.
So I think he'll come in and make an immediate impact.
Yeah, definitely.
Do we have a little delay with this TV?
So we go by off of when Adam Schefter tweets what's going to happen, because otherwise we'd sit here and giggle about things that we know that we can't say. So they're going to be about 2 picks behind all night.
Okay.
Otherwise the chat gets all upset because they're saying stuff, and it turns into a mess.
We love that, though.
Raiders on the clock now, though. The losers out in Vegas. Yeah, I hope it isn't Jeanty.
Banks, that would be amazing.
The tackle.
The tackle from Texas, who's ranked. He's my 15th ranked player, so to take him 6th overall would be quite the decision.
Yep.
Also, just circling back to the Will Campbell pick, I know he's kind of a consensus guy. I think this is a terrible pick. He had a really rough season. All the top prospects he faced, whether it's Landon Jackson from Arkansas, Princely Unimanen from Ole Miss, the South Carolina guys, Kyle Kennard and their phenomenal freshmen. Every single high-end edge prospect Will Campbell went against, he struggled with, and ended up giving up, 11 hurries last season on top of 5 QB hits. He was far more successful when Jaden Daniels was his quarterback. And, I think this is a bit of a risky selection. The Raiders pick is in. This is a big one. No.
Well,
the
that's
Raiders
upsetting.
and Pete Carroll take Ashton Jeanty at 6.
That is upsetting.
That is the selection. So we can move on from the former Broncos running back, who is now a Las Vegas Raider. And
now I have to hate him.
It's
we
tough.
have to hate him.
That's a tough.
Sad.
It's tough on so many different levels. Number one, it's tough because he was an ideal fit for us the offense, the way Sean likes to do things, just super dynamic, incredible playmaker, and somebody who's going to be a day one starter. Number two, it's also bad because he's now in our division, and that's somebody that we have to face for at least the next 4 to 5 years. Now, we have a great defense to do that, but also, we're going to be facing this guy twice a year.
Yeah, but if they go and draft a tackle, then you're saying like, oh, good, Nick Benito's going up against a rookie tackle this year. Yeah. And in 3-4 years, you'll look back and say like, oh, it sucks that they did that. You draft a running back, bang, that team just got better. Now, it's not good enough to actually make the playoffs or anything, but it might be enough to frustrate you and steal a game. And the kicker to me is, we just got over the Josh Jacobs thing. What was it, 117 yards per game he averaged against the Broncos? I remember one day, so you do the top 100 voting in the locker room late in the season. Like, the two ladies come in and they like give the cards out to everybody. Yep. They have to write out their top 20s. And so there's always conversation, discussion. Iowa State guys say, Brock Purdy's got to be up there. All sorts of stuff. It's a fun day. But, boy, when somebody remembered, oh, don't forget to put Josh Jacobs in there, you're like, these are people who will put Josh Jacobs very high on the list because every time he plays the Broncos, just killed him. And now Ashton Jeanty right there, right back, and we're back in this hell where the team isn't any good, but, hey, if the guy goes crazy, all of a sudden there's a loss.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. But I think we have the defense to do it, and I think we will continue to have the defense to do it. And, we have scouted this guy, and we know all his traits and different things like that.
Yeah, and you have Geno Smith playing in a dome. And the other thing, you're talking about Josh Jacobs as a negative, but isn't it also crazy to have let Josh Jacobs enter free agency a season ago?
That's all you had.
You're now drafting a running back in the top 10 after you just let one very competent one.
We're going to be blitzing that guy a lot.
Leave town.
We're going to see how good. We're going to see how good his pass pro is.
The pass pro's going to get.
Let's see how good the pass pro is.
I love that.
Let's see how good the offensive line is. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of different things to confuse him. I can't wait to see him and Greenlaw meet in the hole because that will be his welcome to the NFL moment, where Dre Greenlaw welcomes him to the AFC West.
Yep.
I love that. Let's go. And, look, anyone who saw the wild card game knows that run defense was a struggle at times for the Broncos, and they've got to figure some things out. And if they ever needed more pressure on figuring out their run defense, I think this selection by the Raiders
there's Mark Thews.
puts that fire on you, yeah.
Mark Thews with the Broncos for a long time. Love Thews. Now he's with the Raiders.
What's
now he's on
his role there?
I don't know.
I think he was assistant to the head coach in Denver. Is that right?
Thews? I think he wore a couple different hats.
He did.
Here.
It changed, but he was here forever.
Yeah, he was here forever. Real staple. All different head coaches. Interesting to see this Jeanty pick and him going to the Raiders, man. Now
Bring
we don't
the
have
booze,
we don't
Bring
like
the
him
booze.
anymore.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, those losers.
Yeah.
Now the question is, do we stay put at 20? And do we stay put at 20 and do we go now defense? Because we do have to fix that run defense. Do we now go for a defensive tackle and so we can plug the middle? Because that's something that we struggled with a lot last year is, explosive runs. And Jeanty now being in our division, we have to think about that.
Totally.
So with Jeanty off the board, the only other rumor, and it was kind of a hot rumor leading up to this week. In fact, Daniel Jeremiah mocked the Broncos to trade up to 14 with the Colts and take Michigan tight end Colston Loveland. I don't forget Loveland for a second. Boo. Yes, good. This is the crowd reaction we need. Yes. I applaud you all. Well done. Well done, folks. This is why you do this with a live crowd, so that we can boo the Raiders. This is great work. Well done.
Wearing Crocs to the draft is a choice. Crocs
Are
is a little
those
crazy.
Crocs?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
They were actually diamond-encrusted Crocs, so maybe better than your normal Crocs, but Crocs nonetheless.
Question is, will he regret that later on down the road when he gets older? Like, hey, I should have put on some dress shoes.
Right?
Yeah, maybe too.
I'm sure.
I know my mom would love for me to say that right now.
I'm struggling to say mean things about him, but I have to.
Is it tough for you right now?
Look
at these plays right here.
Yeah, it's Georgia Southern. It's Georgia Southern.
This stinks.
I could do that against Georgia Southern.
This stinks, but at the same time, I would argue these guys don't really know how to build a team, right? Like,
Totally.
yeah, you got a good
Yeah.
tight end, you got a good running back. Not a ton of championship teams that are built around top 15 picks at running back and tight end.
Did Brady have any say? That's a good question. Did Brady have say?
Because Brady
in this
really
pick?
never had a top running back. I mean, this side of Corey Dillon.
No.
Which was like
with
20
Garrett
years
Blunt,
ago.
Yeah, he threw. He had unique running backs. They didn't really find value in drafting a running back high. James White, Rex Burkhead, LeGarrette Blunt, Jonas Gray.
Jonas Gray, yeah.
My high school teammate.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Danny Woodhead,
Yep.
the receiving backs did well for them. We have a pick. The lowly New York Jets have
So
a
lowly.
pick that is
It's got to be
it's
Membo.
Missouri
okay.
right tackle Armand Membao.
So everybody
Armand
thought
Membao.
that this was going to be Tyler Warren. It'd been essentially
Yes.
considered a lock. Tyler
Yes.
Warren to the Jets, it's always they need the tight end. They passed on Brock Bowers last year. They got to regret it. All of a sudden, you start to wonder if Tyler Warren could be a Broncos trade-up target. Membao, though. Membao, good player.
Good player.
Good player, young, right
Yep.
tackle, brings some physicality to your run game. I think there are plenty of teams like the Browns at 5, like the Raiders at 6, like the Jets at 7, who will end up regretting passing on Shedeur Sanders in a really drastic way.
You said the Jets?
Yeah.
I think they're doing that. That's a solid pick right there. That's a solid pick. That's an important pick because now Aaron Glenn is trying to replicate what they did in Detroit, which is build from the inside out. So you go and you get players and you build up front.
Bill
and then you go get
Parcells'
the skill.
disciple.
Yeah, you go get the skill players after that, which is smart thing to do. They're not going to win a Super Bowl in the next 4 to 5 years anyway.
Yep.
So you go pick the right players and you build from the inside out. So that's a great pick for them.
Arguably,
Olu
NFL
Fashanu.
comparison for Jeanty Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, terrible comp.
And,
Olu Fashanu, the Penn State left tackle, was the Jets' pick last year, so they passed on Bo with that pick too, if I'm not mistaken. They passed on Shedeur this year and get themselves Armand Membao. The Detroit comparison is a good one, though.
Yep.
That
I
is
mean,
a good
it's
one.
the kind of pick that the Raiders probably should have made.
Oh, 1,000%. But they have a history of not doing that. Their ownership doesn't believe that. I think Brady is opposite of what their ownership usually is. But
True.
The Raiders always go for the dynamic skill player. That's just what Al Davis did. That's what Mark Davis continues to do. Is they go for these skill players. They're
Worked
going for people
25 years
who
ago.
Yeah, they're going for people who sell jerseys,
Yeah,
fast
exactly.
40s, running backs,
Yep.
receivers, corners.
Yep.
Right.
I hope this guy pans out though, except against us. Except against us.
Yeah. He can run.
That's
He can run
very
for
reasonable
many
view.
yards against the Chiefs and Chargers. Right. We'll allow that.
for sure.
We'll allow that. So we have the first 7 picks in. Jeanty is gone. And I repeat to you guys, is there anyone left that you would trade up for, or is what we're rooting for more of a trade down at this point?
I'm rooting for a
that
trade down.
Shedeur slide to keep happening and wait for the Browns or anyone else to try and jump them and come up to 20 to make that happen.
I'm definitely rooting for the trade down only because you can find so much value in the late first round or early second round. You get a couple
Yeah.
second round picks early on in that top 5 of second round picks. I think you can find a tremendous amount of value there at the running back, receiver position, defensive line position. So I'm for trading back. I mean, now that you're not getting Jeanty, now that you're not trading up for an Abdul Carter or something like that.
Yeah,
Right.
I'd still make the move for Tyler Warren. You know,
You would.
You're
back
back
up for
around. Yep, I would do it. I'm not sure I'd trade up quite to this point, but I would trade up for him.
So you want to see a lot of 2 tight end sets. 'Cause You
Yep.
have Evan Ingram.
Yep.
So you want to see 2 tight end sets, 2 receivers out there. And they're both route runners. Tyler Warren's
Yep.
a great route
Right.
runner. Evan is
And-
a great route runner. I was talking to Evan today. He's super excited
That
about
would
just being here
not
and
make
being
him
in the
happy.
city. He said that wouldn't make
Evan
him happy.
probably wouldn't love the Tyler Warren trade up.
I don't think he would care.
Really?
He's so dynamic that you can
Fair.
use Evan in so many different ways. Trust me,
Yeah.
Evan. The deal that he signed, he knows he's getting the ball.
Exactly. Yeah, there's no problem.
Tyler Warren's selection for Denver would be so interesting because it's not a positional need now that you have Evan Ingram in the fold. but it's an identity need.
Yep.
It's you want to come to Denver in November, December, January, and deal with our elements. Oh, and on top of that, get ready for a lot of 2 tight end sets. Oh, and on top of that, one of these tight ends can take direct snaps and run it like he's Taysom Hill, only 20 pounds heavier, and the other tight end runs routes like a wide receiver and reminds our guy Bennie Fowler of Demaryius Thomas. Good luck with that. You're going to have your hands full when you're game planning. That'll keep some defensive coordinators up at night, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, leading up as they're trying to figure out the game plan to stop that 2 tight end monster. And then you'll still add a running back later on, and that running back's going to benefit from those 2 tight end sets as much as anyone.
I was just going to say, you're spot on in terms of the 2 tight end sets, running the ball, line up. You know we're going to run the ball and you can't stop it.
Yep.
But adding
Yep.
Tyler Warren and then also adding a dynamic running back in the second round makes us just so unpredictable. Unpredictable every single game. You go into the game, and we always have these first 15 plays of the game where Sean is throwing out different personnels. Obviously, all teams do this, but they're throwing out different personnels. You can come out 2 tight end set, a 3 tight end set, 4 receiver set, 2 running back set. So there's gonna be a lot there if we do pick him that early.
Yeah, totally.
I'll say this. My candidate, the only guy remaining I would probably trade up for, would be Tataroa McMillan, T-Mac, the Arizona wide receiver, 6'4", 219 pounds. That's a Sean Payton-sized wide receiver right there.
For sure.
And I think he could be a true number 1, and the ripple effects of having a true number 1 in this wide receiver room, making Sutton into like an elite number 2, and then Mims and Franklin being your speed options, and being your nice options in the slot on top of your big slot option in Evan Ingram. I think it opens up all those receiving targets for Bo. So I'd be very intrigued by
You said true number 1,
McMillan.
so like 100 catch guy.
Yeah, that's right. Only guy who had back-to-back 1,300-yard seasons in this draft. Receiving yards, that is, of course, 10-inch hands. We like to see that.
We do.
And I just can't get away from, we had a conversation very early in the process, Hank and I, where Hank kind of described his ideal number 1 wideout for a Sean Payton offense, and it's like he was describing Tataroa McMillan. I think he's such a system fit, you know?
Yeah, he is. He's definitely a system fit, big body guy, can run routes, huge catch radius for Bo. That's what really attracts me when you think about that type of receiver, huge catch radius, and can run, though. Is a glider. Question is, where's my boy Vele? Like, how does he fall into the rotation?
Yes.
With Cortland Sutton also.
With Sutton. But, hey, that's a basketball lineup out there. A 6'4".
That's exactly
Vele,
right.
6'3", 6'4".
Yep.
Sutton, 6'3", 6'4". Evan, 6'3", 6'4". So now we're playing some hoops out there.
Yeah, no
Jump
doubt.
ball city.
No doubt.
Lob City for the Broncos.
100%. Yeah, so I would embrace Lob City. But yeah, it's true. If you're just going to go running back, let's trade out. Let's try to get a couple picks before that 51st pick, the first pick they have right now in the second round, and see what can happen, you know. So that would be intriguing for me. Though, again, I think I would just prefer a trade down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and see, some people say getting Cortland would mean moving on, or getting Tataroa McMillan would mean moving on from Cortland Sutton. I don't know that I agree, but I think the Panthers have surprised me. There you go. Tataroa McMillan going to the
Bryce Young gets a weapon.
That's right.
Bryce Young
needed
gets
to
a
do
weapon.
that.
Bryce Young deserves a weapon.
They needed to
100%.
do
He
that.
deserves one.
He deserves a big guy who he can see down the field.
Yep.
Well, and this takes me back to something you were saying earlier in the show, Benny. Sean liked big wide receivers for Drew Brees because Drew was small. Well, Bryce Young, very small. Unpack that for me. Why does a smaller quarterback benefit so much from having a bigger wide receiver?
Yeah, so smaller quarterbacks, it's hard for them to see over the offensive line. Bryce Young, they got him listed at 6 feet. He's really 5'10", 5'11". I saw him at a charity flag football game last month. He is not a big guy at all. When you are dropping back as a quarterback, your offensive line is right in front of you. You can see bigger guys if they're running downfield. So when you have a T-Mac or you have a Marcus Colston when he was playing with Drew Brees or Michael Thomas, it's easier to see those guys if they're breaking out or breaking in across the field. Sean also did a great job of moving the pocket, so he would create pockets for Drew to actually see through for the quarterback, and he could see those bigger guys. I imagine that the Carolina Panthers will be doing the same thing with Bryce Young, where you move the pocket a little bit, or you have these different protections to where Bryce Young can step up and he will be able to see T-Mac down the field on an in route, out route, or a post route. But it's easier to see those bigger guys, and that's what you need, especially in a timing offense like Sean had and like Sean runs and had in New Orleans, and similarly what you have to have, especially for a Bryce Young. You see something similar also in San Francisco or Houston with C.J. Stroud. Not saying that he's a smaller guy, but he has a bigger receiver in a Nico Collins. Brandon Ayuk is a taller receiver in San Francisco. So you need these bigger receivers. You need these bigger bodies to see across the middle of the field, down the field. It's just easier to see. And then also it gives the quarterback a lot of room for error in terms of throws. If a throw is 3 to 4 yards outside or inside off the guy's catch radius, if you have a 6'4", 6'5" guy, you can actually just put it up there. Something that Matthew Stafford had and Calvin Johnson. Sometimes you can just throw it up there because your receiver is bigger than the DB.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I love that.
Was that a good explanation?
No, it was really good.
No,
and then I was just trying to picture you being the guy jumping up and thinking.
I don't know if I was that. I'm not considered. I wasn't a tall guy. We had Cody
6'2"?
Latimer, who was taller than I was, had a better vertical leap than I was, incredible hands, and you had DT. Those were like our jump ball guys. I'm more of a crafty guy in the slot. You can't hit what you can't see. Nobody can see me at the line of scrimmage. Myself, Jordan Norwood would play in the slot. I like playing in the slot. A lot of room to work with, and then you're going against a smaller nickel cornerback who isn't that big.
And that's the size advantage.
Size advantage all day.
Well, that's such a huge thing of the big slot wide receiver is that you have that advantage on those nickel cornerbacks, or you want to put a safety in it. It's barbecue chicken. Like that guy's not sticking with you.
I could go for some barbecue chicken right now.
We've got
or some canes.
Absolutely,
baby.
We've got a good question in the Toyota chat here. By the way, we've got over 1,000 live viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we sold 69 tickets to the event, which we love. You guys are all amazing. Thank you so much for showing out for your Denver Broncos and for our draft show. But he asks, who is the dog?
I thought that might be the one you're choosing.
Available, Aqib Talib style player. That's who I want, he says.
Other side of the ball, I start with Tyler Warren, though. Tyler Warren is he's out there to hit.
That's my name as well.
Totally. I mean, he's a 260-pound tight end.
When we say dog, though, I think there's a difference in terms of what he's talking about. Because when I think of dog, I think of Aqib Talib. I think of somebody who slides later in the first round because you're worried, a little bit worried about the character.
Got too much dog in him.
He scares you a little.
Scares you a little.
Your guy Draymond.
No, you don't put that on him. He's a really good guy. No, we're not going to go there. But you're thinking about a guy that scares you a little bit in terms of, geez, we got to hone him in. We got to make sure we have the right support system around him. I don't know if the Broncos are really looking for that. You got that in Drake Greenlaw.
Oh, so off-field dog,
real dog.
Okay.
Talib is one of those guys. You knew he was going to bring an edge, and you also, he might get a personal foul. And are you okay with that?
Just get him to Sunday, and he'll be awesome.
Tyler Warren is, I think, incredible in terms of his talent, but you're not worried about him getting personal fouls.
No.
The Tyler Warren guy is who I thought of, though, because his competitiveness is really what stands out to me, whether that's taking on contact in yak opportunities as a runner, whether that's going up to go get the ball.
Who's your comp for him?
Sun guys. There's some Shockey for sure. I think he's got that.
Oh, that's a dog.
He's got that,
Shockey's a dog.
What in a China shop? Bull in a China shop, too?
I mean, all sorts of things, but Bull's the common one.
That a George Kittle has.
Okay.
And, I mean,
it's another dog.
What's crazy is it's not a tight end comp, but there's some Taysom Hill in how he was utilized at Penn State.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy was a wildcat quarterback quite a bit, and even threw some passes.
And I
Even
think that's
snapped the
huge.
ball as a long snapper almost sometimes.
And that's huge for Sean.
Yes,
That's huge
that
for Sean
versatility
because you need
is
that
really
versatility
cool.
and how can you use him in different ways? Does he become – and do you even think about him as a personal protector on the punt team?
Yeah.
We use Taysom Hill as a personal protector on the punt team because you could run different fakes. You could throw the
We'll
ball.
see.
So there's plenty of opportunity right there to add somebody like that into a dynamic offense.
Totally. Yeah.
The Saints pick is in.
Now we're on Shador watch here with
We
the
are on Shador
ninth
watch.
pick for the Saints. We're getting questions about it. You know, the rumors the last couple days where the Saints were not interested in a quarterback, even though things do seem troubled with the whole Derek Carr experience.
Oh,
They are not
yeah.
speaking glowingly of him.
How could you?
His injuries don't seem to be going well. But here's the pick, guys. Here's the spoiler. Give it to me here. Wow. O-line, Kelvin Banks, the left tackle for Texas, is the pick at 9. It is not Shador Sanders. Isn't that something?
That is something.
So the dream of Shador dropping a 20 and the Broncos being able to leverage that in a big trade down, still alive.
Yep.
Look, Jeanty was disappointing, Teteroa was disappointing, but all the tight ends are still remaining. We'll see if at 10 the Bears take a running back here, because this is, now we start to get on 10
True.
is a key spot,
Great
12
pick
is
by
a
New
key
Orleans.
spot.
Yeah.
Building through the trenches, and he's a safe pick, because maybe he's not a franchise left tackle, but this guy could be a very high-end guard, very high-end right tackle, if you ask me.
And something that's super important for Kellen Moore, who's a new coach, who builds his offense off of the run game and had a lot of success in Dallas because they had a strong offensive line. Quarterback is important for them. If they don't see the opportunity right here this early, you have a pick like this where you build from the inside out, similar to what the Jets did, and you start to establish the foundation, which is the most important thing when it comes to a football team, is how you win the games in the trenches, and that has to be done in the NFC South. So I think it's a safe pick, and it's a great pick for Kellen Moore, who's the new head coach there.
And I think that's the big piece, because to me, you kind of start your clock as an offensive head coach when you draft a quarterback.
Yep.
That's when it's time. You kind of got 3 years to get things figured out. But by making this move, you get to raise the floor a little bit, make it a little bit easier next year when you bring the quarterback in, and hopefully give it a chance. They would love that there.
Down in New
people
Orleans,
love it
Arch.
anywhere. There in particular, though.
Yeah, they'd love that. Arch Manning to New Orleans next year.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the dream for them, without a doubt.
I believe Archie Manning is the last quarterback they drafted in the first round.
Yeah, how crazy would that be?
Wow. To have his grandson be the...
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
They haven't drafted a first-round quarterback in...
Because they traded for Drew.
What is that, 50 years?
Yeah.
It's got to be.
You'd think there'd be a few busts. There's no, Aki Smith or something
Achilles?
like that?
Nope.
Achilles Smith?
Nope.
My God.
No Achilles Smiths.
We had Aaron Brooks there for a while.
Yeah.
Then you
Oh,
had
that
Drew
was
there
fun.
for 20 years.
Aaron Brooks.
That's not a name that you hear very often.
I
Aaron Brooks.
haven't heard it in a half decade. Aaron Brooks. Yeah, that would have been to maybe
1971.
2005. Yeah.
Wow.
Since drafting first-round quarterback, Archie Manning.
Look at that. Henry beating the broadcast to the graphic and info.
We're beating the broadcast in a lot of ways tonight.
What a stud. I love that for us. Okay, guys, now we enter the danger zone for the Broncos. You want Omarion Hampton? You're watching picks 10, 12, and maybe 14. You want one of these tight ends? You're definitely watching picks 10, 12, and 14. That's the Bears at 10. Lots of interest in a running back, maybe interest in a tight end. Same for the Cowboys at 12. And the Colts are said to be hot on a tight end at 14. If you can get past those three selections, I'm telling you, anything is possible at this point. And again, we are very much on Shador Sanders' watch, which... shocking to me, though, this was the latest intel that he has, in fact, dropped. Yeah, we have some murmurs from the crowd. Not too happy about that.
Love a good murmur.
I can't believe this.
When it comes to Shador Sanders, is he worth a top 10 pick, though? I mean, I think he's incredible. I think he's got great accuracy, smart, will come in, will be a pro right away. But top 10 picks are game changers. And if you're picking in the top 10, you plan on going to the playoffs within the next couple of years. I think Jahdae needs a lot of things around him to be successful. Number one, you need a great offensive line. So what if New Orleans trades back into the first round? You pick somebody like this. They got a decent offensive line there, but you pick somebody like this at 9 and Calvin Banks, and then you come back and you get Jahdae later in the first round.
Two things.
Yes, Henry.
First of all, pick 10 is really where the trade up becomes realistic. They could have made the crazy move up to 8 or 6 or whatever. Unrealistic, though, probably. So the last time there was a pick from 20 to 10 was when the Steelers traded up to take Devin Bush.
I remember this.
Knocking the Broncos down to 20 to take Noah Fant. So that cost the Steelers their second-round pick in that draft, the third-round pick in the next draft. So that's kind of the price range we're looking at here. Other part that I wanted to talk about, Kelvin Banks crying pretty hard when he got drafted. Do we like a crier? Because you see some guys, Ashton Jeanty comes out there, Travis is dancing. Do we like the criers? Do we like the...
You know what? I'm not opposed to crying. It's such an important moment in somebody's life.
Yeah, totally.
Where they have worked so hard to come to this point. Their life is now changed.
Yes.
And it's just an incredible moment and opportunity. They're coming in, they're achieving their dream, or the start of their dream, and now it's time to get to work. Oh, we got another pick in.
Pick is in.
Let's see
Pick
what we
is
got.
in.
Let's see what we
Chicago
got.
Bears.
Johnson and the Chicago Bears at 10th overall have selected
Wow.
Colston Loveland off the board before Tyler Warren.
Yeah, so somebody made that bet a couple
That's
days
an
ago.
upset.
Got 3-1 odds on Colston Loveland to go before Tyler Warren.
Good job.
Yep.
Good job, Henry.
Good
Time to do
receiving
some
threat.
math.
Good receiving threat for Ben Johnson, somebody who used Sam Laporta a tremendous amount in his offense in terms of reverses, leaking routes across the field, used them, split them out wide. So great pick for Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson has built his offensive line in free agency with some veterans, and now you add some young, skilled players who don't have a lot of tread on their tires to come in here and help Caleb Williams.
Totally. And I think, with Colston Loveland, all the hype was Tyler Warren. It's all anybody wanted to talk about, even though, 8 months ago, nobody knew who he was. He wasn't supposed to be like a guy we're talking about at this point. Has a really good season. Dre knew who he was. We should say Dre knew who he was. The USC
There was
game,
a little hype.
There was a little
into the
hype.
season.
The USC game, he goes crazy. Late in the season, CFP just gets better and better and better.
Oh, Tyler Warren, you were saying.
Tyler
I'm
Warren.
sorry.
No,
No, you're
Colston Loveland, there was-
absolutely right
Thank you.
about Tyler
Okay.
Warren. Yes.
So Tyler Warren steals the show, and everybody's hyped. Colston Loveland, though, also a pretty good prospect. Going back to his freshman year, late in that season,
Was he always
breaks
at
out.
Michigan?
Yep, always Michigan. 3 years at Michigan.
I can't stand that school.
Yeah, that's true.
They've got 2 selections already off the board.
We do.
Not good. Not
Gonna
good.
be
Yeah.
plenty
NIL
more.
budget.
That's right. That's right.
Totally. But
And,
Colston Loveland gets lost.
A little cheating along the way.
That's
yeah.
true. They are cheaters.
Colston Loveland, yeah. I mean, this Colston Loveland pick at number 10, emblematic of what people were saying coming into the draft, where they were saying the 10th pick is as good as what you're going to find at 25 in this draft. And that's right. Colston Loveland could have gone 10th overall. He could go 25. That's Jahdae's range, right? That's Tyler Warren still available. It's why being in this middle, even moving down a little, might not be the worst solution for the Broncos, because if you're stuck at 10, you're probably taking a guy who you would have felt really good at 20 as well.
Totally.
What's the over-under? What do you guys think the over-under is in terms of us trading now?
Trading down?
No, trading just in general. Do you guys think we trade at all, or do we stay put?
35% trade.
35%?
That sounds accurate. I'd say maybe closer to 25%, but yeah.
Okay.
Along those lines.
Okay, wow,
Really?
you're feeling it. Okay.
For a trade
Well, I think
up.
like this now, when you have Colston Loveland go, top 10.
Yep.
Now it starts to be like, okay, who's in front of us, and what are their needs,
Totally.
and do they have needs like we have needs, and like do we need to jump up real quick?
And going back to Colston Loveland, last thought, I think, again, he is the more blue chip type of prospect, I think, because he was the big recruit coming out, freshman year looks good, plays well last year, winds up being
dare I say, it's almost the Omarion Hampton versus Travion Henderson conversation.
In some
right?
ways.
One is more meat and potatoes. One's got a little more special sauce to it.
And I think that I would add, Tyler Warren's the big guy, the physical guy. He's going to block. He's going to do those sorts of things. Colston Loveland, finesse, gets down the field, stretches the seam.
Colston doesn't fit what we need right now.
Exactly.
Tyler Warren actually fits more because he is that blocker.
More complimentary, yeah.
He's more complimentary to Evan. He's more complimentary to the offense, and he's somebody that we can utilize in a whole bunch of different ways.
I think the one piece, though, is that Tyler Warren, bigger tight end, by 8 pounds. He's also a year older. Colston Loveland, half-inch taller, longer arms, bigger hands. So you have all these things where it is pretty easy to see him taking a pretty big step right away, I think. And within a few years, you say, like, this is one of these, like, game-breaking tight ends who does figure out how to block. Because he is a pretty big guy.
He's not going to figure out how to block.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Wow.
I think he will be a blocker like an Evan Ingram. He will do it.
Put him on somebody smaller than him, it'll work out.
But he's not going to be like a George Kittle blocker where George seeks out contact. Like, I think Tyler Warren will seek out contact. And he will seek out being physical and being a huge part of the running game where you can actually run to his side.
Totally. We have
he's got that dogging.
Brian Baldinger on the show a couple months ago. So, Tyler Warren, remind you of anybody? Gronk. Yep.
This is the reaction from the crowd.
Yes.
Seeing Colston Loveland.
Yes.
You love to see it. They're mostly excited that Loveland is off the board. I like that.
Yep.
We had some crowd reactions on the Teteroa McMillan pick. I like what you guys got cooking. You guys got some takes. I can see it. I can see it from your rooting interest. San Francisco 49ers coming up at 11. Do they surprise us with a Shedeur Sanders pick?
That would be so much fun.
The 49ers?
So they have to pay Brock Purdy this offseason. But what if they decide we don't want to pay him? We're going with Shedeur.
That would be a huge mistake.
Really?
Huge mistake.
Okay.
It's hard to play in the Kyle Shanahan offense. I've known.
Okay.
I know that, number one. Number two, Jimmy Garoppolo, who was a veteran, played in that offense, couldn't do what Brock Purdy did in terms of throwing the ball, in terms of spreading the ball around. They've never had more confidence in a quarterback in San Francisco than Brock Purdy. Why would you not pay the guy? Now, would I pay him $55 million? No. But I'd be like, hey, Brock, let's do 45.
That's the thing.
Let's do 45.
Guarantee it, make it
so
long.
I can surround you with some more talent. Are you okay with that? Take the Tom Brady route, man. Don't try to be the max guy and try to reset the market. You're not a reset the market type of guy. You deserve to be paid for sure.
Past 14 years, 49ers go to 3 Super Bowls. Colin Kaepernick gets him to 1. Jimmy Garoppolo gets him to 1. Brock Purdy gets him to 1. I don't know, especially his last 2. Kyle Shanahan. I think you give Kyle Shanahan the right kind of quarterback. I think he can make it happen. You spend that money, you keep Kittle. You keep that. He is. Could Shedeur be 2?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Shedeur has never played. He hasn't played in this type of offense before.
It's true.
Never played under center. It's a different type of offense.
I mean,
now in the huddle, it's a lot of motion. It's a lot of play. It's very different.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick up. It's the reason why Trey Lance, who had all the talent in the world, couldn't do it.
And you probably would have said the same thing about Brock Purdy. Never really played under center all that much. But you wind up...
Processor, though. I mean, if
totally.
you had a conversation with him, quick processor, and you picked him the last pick of the draft. There was no... You got a chance to really see that. And do you want to waste a first-round pick? Not waste a first-round pick, but do you want to...
And at this point...
They got too many other needs.
At this point,
quarterback's
they've
not a
taught
need.
Brock how to do it.
Yeah.
So, like, you already got through that process. There's no guarantee you can teach Shedeur how to do it. I agree. It'd be fun.
What does that signal to your locker room?
Would be hard to pay Brock Purdy.
It would be...
For you?
For me, it'd be real hard.
Oh, man, it'd be so easy.
They turned a lot of great quarterbacks. The chat is going off.
I would try to convince him that I don't want to pay you top dollar.
Yeah.
This is a good marriage. You've done well because you're in this system. We've given you a chance. We surrounded you with the right people. If we do pay you this money, we can't pay other people. Just letting you know that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
So let's do 40. Let's do $40 million. Let's guarantee it all for 3 years. And let's go out there and let's try to win a championship within 3 years.
George Kill's a free agent next year. We'll bring him back if you decide to sign.
I mean, Tyler Warren would make a lot of sense for the 49ers. That would be the bummer pick for the Broncos if this pick at 11 is, in fact, Tyler Warren. The chat giving us a little silver lining right here, thinking of how the Chargers war room must have reacted to Colston Loveland, their primary target in this draft. He is gone 12 picks before they could even get on the board. So you love to see that. Jim Harbaugh, take that. Suck it. And yeah, I guess that's the only silver lining we've got.
That's true.
How about
Suck it, Jim Harbaugh.
The NFL is just king. I mean, there's playoff games for the NBA going on right now. They just announced that the schedule will be released on May 14th, which is still during the NBA playoffs.
Yep.
NFL is king.
Yep. May 14th, stories the NFL.
Yep. The boys are buzzing. Everyone's excited about a good schedule release. Nothing like it.
That's when you start to predict those wins, see who you got to play against. And
yeah. Decide, like, do you want the tough teams early? Do you want them late?
Where are we traveling
Exactly.
to? How late in the season? How many cold games do we have?
Exactly.
Going back to that Aqib Talib conversation we had, we've talked about a couple Michigan prospects, much to your chagrin, Benny. Well, what if Will Johnson were to drop to 20 for the Broncos? A consensus blue chipper coming into the season, deals with some injuries, the big outside cornerback from Michigan, who of course was a star for their national championship team a year ago. His stock has dropped a little bit.
Is it because of the injuries?
It is because of the injuries, yep. So obviously, right, it's easy to watch the tape and be like, he should have been gone long ahead, but if your medical staff isn't giving you the clearance to draft him, that's a different conversation. But having Will Johnson and PS2 and a guy like Riley Moss playing the slot and being such a good zone corner, it's a luxury pick. But would that be a pick maybe worth pursuing for Denver?
I think it would be worth pursuing because it just adds that much dynamic ability to your secondary. You already have Talanoa Hufanga, who you added in free agency. You have PS2. You have Riley Moss. You add another corner. Now you can play more man. You can play more press coverage, get after the quarterback. And if I'm not mistaken, he got his hands on the football a lot in terms of interceptions. So he is a dynamic playmaker. And he's another war daddy that could be in there. Knows how to play in the cold. You know, those things like that are super important when you come out here and you get drafted to Denver because we're going to be playing outside games, you know, here in Kansas City. So you have to think about those things. So I wouldn't mind the pick. I just can't stand that winged helmet.
Yeah, I mean, Will Johnson, as a freshman, 3 interceptions. As a sophomore and national champion, 4 interceptions.
Don't throw that national championship.
1 touchdown. I will stop with that, I promise. And then last season, in just 6 games, 2 interceptions, both returned for a touchdown.
We like that.
Not terrible.
We like pick sixes.
Not terrible. We like ourselves
sixes.
some pick sixes. That would help, Bo, no doubt.
100%. Yeah, if a defense can
When
score
your
a touchdown.
defense puts... And who knows? I mean, look, Warren, Will Johnson might be primary targets for the 49ers, who I think a lot of people coming into the draft were thinking this is a spot to go draft an offensive lineman. Well, guess what? We've already seen 3 go off the board. Are you taking the 4th best offensive lineman on the board? That might even be a surprise pick like Gray Zabel, who I think Daniel Jeremiah had a mock to, but that's, you know, Henry, you're a proud Montana Grizz FCS fan. An FCS prospect going 11th overall in front of some of the blue chippers we've been talking about right now. That'd be a bit of an upset there.
Yes, it would.
I mean, like 2 months ago, had you given me a bet of Gray Zabel?
Gray, yes.
Goes higher than Shedeur Sanders? I would have bet anything on that. I mean, anything.
I would have as well.
So, yeah, that would be a shocker. Yeah, you haven't cued me for a pick is in? We're live? We're live. They waited till the very end. A bit of a surprise pick for us. Wow. And they go with Michael Williams.
They do.
Georgia's a big defensive end. It works out for us. More skill players available at 20 for the Broncos. You love to see that. You love to see that reaction from Michael Williams. I really enjoy seeing that laugh. That's honestly the kind of unbridled joy that Michael Williams is showing right now. That is emblematic of how I feel right now on set with you at this draft party with all of you. What a time to be alive. I love it so much. Okay, cool. Honestly, to me, this is an overdraft.
We like this. Yep.
Keep them coming.
We like this in Denver. That's great for us. We like that.
Give me 8 more picks like this. We're going to be looking pretty at pick 20. It's going to be really nice. So
good for San Francisco rebuilding.
Yep. They always draft a defensive lineman. It's worked out for them.
And wow, only 53 seconds on the clock for the Cowboys. Do they go tight end? Do they go wide receiver? Do they go running back most of all? Or do the Cowboys shock the world and go Shedeur Sanders?
That would shock the world.
Then the coach prime to the Cowboys rumors can really pick them up.
They're paying Dak way too much
Fire
money.
up the tweets.
They are. Let's just see what the trade would look like financially.
We're all perked up right now.
Trade Dak to the Steelers.
Yeah, you got us going.
Could you make that
happen?
my
goodness.
Trade him to the Browns, and the Browns can have Dak and Deshaun Watson under contract with Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. That's a fun quarterback room, huh?
Incredible quarterback room.
And Mason Graham. Mason Graham, you take care of all these problems we've got, okay? Please do. While we figure all this out. Actually, no. We're going to see the Cowboys pick, and then I will take a quick little commercial break. But there's no time like the present. So we're gonna sit on this one for the Cowboys. I kind of think this is a sneaky big pick for the Broncos, and our favorite target still being on the board at pick 20. You got to see what Jerry Jones does.
So I crunched some numbers.
Please, oh my gosh.
Dak Prescott's cap hit this year, $50 million. If they trade him, that cap hit goes to $138 million.
Wow, and
they
the
will not be
Cowboys
trading him.
They
will not be trading him.
Give it to me here. Me?
What could it be?
Okay.
Oh, it was nice.
I wasn't talking into the mic. I was just projecting.
Andre,
sorry, guys.
You know better.
Sorry, guys. I do know better.
Tyler Booker.
That's Booker.
That's so responsible. They lose Zach Martin.
So responsible.
Yeah,
responsible.
Yep.
This is so unlike them. Dallas never does the right thing. They always do the wrong thing. Or always go against the grain in terms of how they should pay players, how they should pick players. That makes all the sense in the world. Good for them. Good for Dak.
I have a feeling that
imagine being an ancient owner.
Totally.
Every season could be your last season.
Legitimately.
And you're doing the responsible thing?
No, I seriously.
Credit to him. Frankly, credit to him.
I have a feeling Jerry Jones is tied up in a closet somewhere. They said, we got to get you out of here so we can do something.
He's not in the draft room.
Yep, we got to get this done real
quick. If they don't pan to the draft room at all, he's not in there.
Exactly.
So he's the first pure guard to go off the board. We talked about we've already had 3 offensive linemen, all offensive tackles.
I love how excited he is. Look at this.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, his excitement is amazing, contagious.
Hey,
congrats
big boy
to
can
him.
Move.
Yes, he can. He can.
And you gave us the great term war daddy, right?
Yep, war
when
daddy.
I think of war daddies in this class, he's one of them. He's
for
just a road grader for Alabama, the kind of guy you want to get behind in the running game.
Day one starter in the trenches, built for the NFC East, and has gone against those players in Philly who were, Georgia Bulldogs. He's been tested. He's been in the SEC for 4 years, 3 years, whatever it may be. I don't know how many years he played, but he's been in the SEC.
Totally.
We know he's tough. We know he was recruited by Nick Saban. And, that he's got that stamp of approval.
Absolutely. Next great guard for the Cowboys. Zach Martin retires. Boom. There you go. Larry Allen back in the day. That. Everybody wants to talk about the skill position players, but you need guys like this if you want to have an Emmitt Smith or an Ezekiel Elliott.
Eat your vegetables, People at the party, we might be boozing it up, but you got to drink some water sometimes. Drinking water is drafting that offensive lineman. And look, shout out to old friend Javonte Williams, who has gone to Dallas. And hopefully this is the kind of guy you can run behind and revive his career. I have no ill will towards Javonte. Always wish it would have worked out. Very unfortunate what happened with the injuries. Maybe came back sooner than he had to. And I love the work rate and workload he took on, even though it didn't work out. So big pick for the Cowboys. Hey, we've survived 12 picks, right? Yes, Jeanty is gone. This board, though, still looking good for me. Tyler Warren's still available. The top running back's still available. The top wide receivers, not named Teteroa McMillan, are still available. We will see what Colorado's own Mike McDaniel does at pick 13. I think they're also in the market for some offensive linemen.
Sanders.
So we will see. Shedeur Sanders would be electric. Though it's that same Shanahan offense. If they had no Shanahan offense.
But you're throwing in Tyreek Hill and Waddle.
I see. Not all Shanahan's offenses are created the same.
Not all created the same.
That's what I like to say. I meant to say created equal, by the way.
Yeah. He says it all the time.
By the way, huge shout out to Yahir Vasquez and Deion Smith on the ones and twos, making all this possible. Yaya, when you've got it in you, he's giving me this signal. In the offenses you played in, Benny, what's this signal?
This right here?
This anything?
I don't know.
Okay, I was hoping you could decipher this.
Been shakers, which would have been two post corners.
There you go. Okay. Yeah, we're going two post corners. Okay, let's cue up a read here. Let's talk some UC Health and take a little break. We're just going to be a second while the Dolphins are on the clock and we see what Mike McDaniel does. Look, guys, first off, DNVR Broncos is brought to you by UC Health, the preferred partner of athletes in Colorado. All sorts of amazing partnerships and a phenomenal partner for us to work with. I'm sure this isn't much of a problem for Bennie Fowler, who's been gifted. He's a great athlete, got a great physique, and he manages to stay in shape. It's easy to see it. For normal guys like Henry and I, maybe some of you can relate.
I'm a normal guy.
A little, little harder.
Now you are.
A little harder to stay healthy, And for me, Henry, it's really trying to eat the right things, making sure I'm getting the right amount of sleep. I'm not burning the candle on both ends. And, it's really stress management, right? It's all these things I'm trying to do so that I can live extraordinary. And that's what UC Health is all about. They're all about giving you resources for improving your life and improving your health. For inspiring health stories, please go to uchealth.org for more information. UC Health, live extraordinary. And look, we talked about war daddies, right? Toyota trucks and SUVs. That's a war daddy for you right there. That is a car that is built for Colorado, durable, family safe, perfect car to get lost with in the mountains around here. We all love Toyota. The people on the DNVR staff who have a Toyota swear by it. And let's drive into the playoffs with Toyota. Nuggets about to start real soon, so we will be watching and keeping an eye on that. Time to beat the Clippers. Toyota all in on that. Drive to the playoffs with your Front Range Toyota stores. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Inglewood, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Yahir and I's Hood, Lakewood. Toyota, proud partner of DNVR, the Denver Nuggets, and the official vehicle of DNVR, and a proud partner of ours. Thank you so much, Yahir, for queuing me up with that. Back to the Dolphins. The pick is in for Mike McDaniel.
Travis Hunter said they put him on the phone with both of the coordinators.
That's an electric move.
That's sweet.
I love that Travis went to a team who it sounds like believes, at least at first, trying him out at both positions,
well,
not
have no
pigeonholing him. It helps when you got those needs.
They need both. They need both. They need corner and a receiver. So you take two birds with one stone right there.
It'd be like the Broncos drafting Tyler Warren before they got Ingram and before they drafted Bo. Like, okay, this is going to be our Wildcat quarterback and it's going to be our tight end.
Yep. Personal protector on punt.
That's right. Exactly. Do it all for us, please, Tyler Warren. Okay.
Little trade update?
Please.
Math update.
Please, yes, math. Okay, guys, get your calculators out.
Get them out. If the Broncos wanted to trade up from 20 to 13, we know the pick is in, but if... now I'm interrupted. The pick is in.
The pick is in, and Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins select at 13th overall. Wow. Kenneth Grant, nose tackle from Michigan. We won't even pronounce the M.
There we go.
We won't even mention.
Third player selected?
Yeah.
No wonder they win the national championship.
Yeah,
Well, and honestly,
that
they were
helps.
kind of light last year's draft, and it's because a lot of these guys were returning to school, and this is where you're seeing all the guys from the championship team come out. I'm sorry, Benny. I promised you I'd stop doing it, but
It's all good. I mean, shout out to them
I
for
can't help
having a great team, and also a great pick for Miami, somebody that to protect Tua,
this
help
is
him hold on to the ball, hopefully keep him healthy.
well, and also like the Dolphins kind of had become a bit too much of a finesse team, right? This is a team that, oh man, late August, early September, they look amazing, right? When we're still figuring out how to tackle because we don't do two-a-days, we don't do padded practices anymore. And the pick is in at 14.
Damn, I'm doing all this
back.
math.
This is a big one. This is a big one. The Colts, what do the Colts do? Is Tyler Warren still going to be available? Or is he going to Indianapolis? Yaya, tell us now.
It's Tyler Warren. I mean, that's a great pick for
Tyler
them.
Warren is gone.
That is a
I'm
great
so
pick for
sorry,
them.
guys. I'm so
Yep.
sorry. The Tyler Warren dream has ended. Okay.
Going back to the Dolphins
it's
pick.
running backs and stuff.
The Dolphins pick real quick. Stephen Ross is a graduate of Michigan who owns the Dolphins. His son-in-law
True.
is helping run the team now, who's also a graduate of Michigan.
Good
So,
call.
You know, I can see why they would pick that guy. But
Yeah.
Tyler Warren going to the Colts, that sucks for us.
It does.
Would have been a
But-
perfect pick.
The Colts, the one team in the NFL last year with fewer receiving yards from their tight ends than the Broncos.
Jeez. Well, that'll change for us pretty quickly.
I hope so as well.
I mean, it's an identity pick. You know, you're getting a big boy like that, 331 pounds, who's really going to, when you're going to Buffalo, when you're going to New England in November and December, this guy's going to be ready to play. And it's
He
a
is
guy
huge.
that we talked about even for the Broncos because you want to remedy the issues you saw in the wild card round. You want to free up Nick Benito and Jonah Ellis and Jonathan Cooper and Zach Allen and JFM. Well, you get a guy like this who's going to keep two offensive linemen busy and give you single matchups, you know, one-on-one matchups at all other in all the other gaps. And he goes way earlier than basically anyone had prognosticated at 13th overall. And then you have Tyler Warren 14th overall. Somewhat a responsible draft. We're seeing a lot of teams just like, no, let's stick to the trenches. Let's get our big guys in, our
Responsible because I don't think there's
mismatches.
anybody besides Travis Hunter. And,
Right, that's like the flashy pick.
And T-Mac.
Yep.
So really, would you trade up for?
Yeah.
So I think we're staying put.
Jeanty 6th overall, maybe.
Yeah.
That's your other splashy,
Yeah.
flashy pick. Look, guys, now though 15 on. I think it's kind of clear sailing. I don't think we're going to see a ton more of Broncos targets go. I think there's a really good chance Omarion Hampton makes it all the way to 20.
Yep.
I think there's a really good chance Travion Henderson's available at the 20th pick. I think there's a really good chance all the best wide receivers not named Teteroa McMillan or Travis Hunter will be available. Like I think, you know, Matthew Golden, the spots to survive were kind of 12 and 14. Now that 14's off the board and that's Tyler Warren, I kind of think Golden could easily drop to Denver, you know? So this next stretch,
How are you
these
guys
next
feeling right now
5
about this?
picks are going to be intriguing.
How you guys feeling?
I struggle to see a home run scenario. I really like Tyler Warren. I like Ashton Jeanty. I like Travis Hunter. And to not get those guys hurts me a little bit. But
in Sean, we trust.
yes, and in the next 5 picks, my heart will heal, and I will respect that they got a really good player. I'm curious who it's going to be. Trade value update. I'm not doing the math again. If they had traded up for the 14th pick with the Colts, exactly fair value would be you trade pick 20 and you trade your second round pick. You get pick 14. You also get their third round pick and fourth round pick. So you're getting into the range where, it costs you something, but it doesn't cost you too much.
We've got some wonderful people in the crowd here saying they wanted a joker. They're bummed about the Broncos not being able to get that tight end. All I'll say is joker running backs still very much available. So there you go.
Some of them.
I think I would be very excited by a Travion Henderson, who is that exact kind of running back, that exact kind of versatile running. And if Sean Payton gives his stamp of approval, and that is the pick at 20th overall, I will be ecstatic. I think this guy has some Alvin Kamara type traits to him, right? So have faith. I think it could still come. I'm getting I trust you, so I appreciate that. And yeah, we shall see. Atlanta, I really expect to go defense here. I think they go for an undersized edge rusher who the Broncos shouldn't have been interested in at all.
They don't try to get a weapon for Penix.
I did sprinkle. I took them to take a receiver. Again, the odds were 80-1 or something like that.
But you have Drake London. You have Kyle Pitts.
They do.
I mean,
you know what's disappointing about the Tyler Warren pick is that they won't know how to use him, like how Sean would use him. And that's what's disappointing, that we didn't get him as a player on our offense, because when you look at the highlights, you look at the way he throws the ball, you look at the Wildcat, you look at the way that he blocks, he is such a unique and dynamic talent. I just don't think that the Colts will use him the right way. They got questions at quarterback, they got questions as their head coach, questions in terms of offensive line. But hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
that's right.
I trust Sean and George, though. If they don't believe in reaching for a pick, I think we're all good. And I think they know who they want at 20, and I think they have, the best available.
It's the beauty of the draft, man. Name your favorite Bronco. I doubt most of them were drafted in the top 15. Short of a Von Miller, a John Elway, a Peyton Manning.
Those are some good ones.
The rest of those guys, though, were drafted outside the top 15,
true.
right? Demarius Thomas, who you always bring up. Steve Atwater. I mean,
20 exactly for Steve.
Yeah. So
TD, 7th round, 6th round?
6th.
6th round?
Yeah.
6th.
Right.
Where was Tebow drafted?
15? 14. No, he was late.
I think he was
second.
later in the first round.
It was DT first, and then it was Tebow. So he was like 23 or something.
Yeah. Yeah, he
25.
was drafted 25th overall in 2010. Wow. That feels like a long time ago, I tell you what.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun. There's no doubt about that. Next up, we have Atlanta at 15. Don't think they're going to surprise us, though Henry has sprinkled.
I did.
Arizona at 16. That's another O-line pick, potentially.
You would think.
Yeah.
Cincinnati needs an O-line pick.
Yeah, it'd be smart. I did sprinkle them to take a running back. I can't remember if that was 100-1 or that was 100-1.
Cincinnati
81. I was like, hey, Chase Brown, you could do better. If you like Hampton, go get him.
Yes, Cincinnati could be a tricky pick for the running back, but I also think they'd go trenches first and foremost, especially the defensive trenches where that offense was so prolific and they couldn't win games.
No.
Because that defense couldn't get a stop to save their lives. So I do think that could be in the works here. So yeah, we're going to see. And then we have... Who's picking at 18, Henry? I've got it right here. The Seahawks. Maybe the Seahawks surprise us with a Shador pick? Wow.
That would be interesting.
I think I saw a trade up for maybe the Rams moving up to like in this range. Then it's the Buccaneers who probably go defense. And again, Shador keeps falling. The Broncos being able to get a nice haul at that 20th pick in a trade down could still be on the table as well. So we are monitoring that. We're monitoring where Omarion Hampton, the second tier of wide receivers and running backs go. I think we're done with tight ends for the night.
Yep. Tight end should be done. Mason Taylor could slip into the end of the first, but that would surprise me. Hey, that could be a Bronco pick. If you wind
I
up...
think the Broncos should trade back now.
Yeah, and if you wind up with Shador Sanders on the board at 20, which we've talked about, everybody thinks the Steelers will take him at 21, but could somebody want to jump him? You jump up, take that pick 20, Broncos get a haul, trade back. That's your Mason Taylor path. But I agree. I would bet on no more tight ends in the first round.
Mason Taylor path.
I think there is a Mason Taylor path.
That is interesting. The chat was throwing out Nick Anuari when we were talking about dogs. He is the massive safety.
He is massive.
From South Carolina. Go Cox. And
as we say.
And yeah, safety not necessarily a need. Certainly not after you added Talanoa Hufanga, and you have the luxury of PJ Locke coming off the bench now. But it'd be a bit of an identity pick having this big safety who had a perfect RAS score, relative athletic score, and
third down weapon.
Yeah, I mean, that's someone who could erase some of these tight ends. That's someone who could give you some versatility on the back end. And then, of course, I also wonder, those versatile hybrid defensive playmakers, we've seen Vance Joseph end up with a lot of them. Isaiah Simmons, Xavion Collins. Who am I forgetting? There's one more. It doesn't matter. Those guys haven't worked out thus far. Yeah, Drew Sanders was who I was thinking. Would going after another one of those hybrid guys be the solve? I don't know. I really don't know.
It's probably so nerve-wracking for these families just looking at it right now.
Oh,
just sitting there and you haven't received the call yet.
Yeah, there's Jalen Walker and his family. They don't look too pleased as they're waiting around.
Our guy John Jahdae, whom we love because he watches almost every show,
points
out
John.
Mason Taylor's father, Jason Taylor, played with Pat Surtain's dad with the Dolphins.
Wow.
You would have the second generation.
Love that. Gen 2.
That would really be incredible. I would love that so much. I'm guessing the Nuggets haven't started yet?
That's 8, I believe,
8,
right?
yeah.
Oh, my bad. Okay, great.
It is your bad.
Great. I love it. Yeah, it is my bad. It's great clarification.
Yep.
Man. I'm sad that the draft has slowed down. We were moving at a really good rhythm, and now we've slowed down a little bit.
Now you got to really think.
So I think
is that Atlanta? The pick is in.
Might be moving now.
And I wonder if that means, there's some trades being worked out on the phones here. Maybe a little wheeling and dealing. We have a celebrity in our midst. It is Ryan Koenigsberg, the man, the myth, the legend, approaching the set. You love to see it.
Taking the long way.
Yeah, I mean,
where is he? There we go.
Oh yeah, he's coming around.
Did he come from Boulder?
No, they did from the studio.
He came from the DNVR bar. The Atlanta Falcons, number 15 pick, is in. Lay it on me, you hear. And also, Yaya, be ready, because our guy's putting a headset on. Jalen Walker,
good pick.
Staying local.
Good pick.
The dog becomes a dirty bird. That's a fun combo. I would love to be a dog and a dirty bird. That would work out nicely.
Wow.
It's like a cat dog situation.
Yeah.
Oh,
how are you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing great.
I love that for you.
Your boy got drafted number 2 overall.
Yeah, and he gets to go back home.
Staying home.
It's actually a big debate where his home is, because both Georgia and Florida claim him.
Interesting.
And we, as Colorado, claim him as well.
Yes, he's actually ours now.
Yeah.
But no, I'm so
He
excited
belongs
for
to
Travis.
the world,
And
you could say.
so much cooler to go to the Jags than the Browns. Now, not that the Jags are the pillar of what the NFL is about, but it's cooler to go to the Jags than the Browns.
Well, if you were ever considering buying an NFL jersey of Travis Hunter's, I think those are the talking points for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Colorado, which we love.
We do love them.
I just don't do red.
I will hold on. Oh, that's good call for the brand. Good call for the brand, no doubt. Yeah, if you were going to buy a Travis Hunter jersey, Jacksonville is a much cooler jersey than the Browns.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know that you could rock that.
I honestly need the Travis Hunter black Jags jersey.
Will you get that? Will you order it?
Tell the people.
I'll have it.
But you're not going to be like, you're not going to put in the order tonight.
Look, I'm going to own it.
Yeah. Whether I order it or someone else does is, up for debate.
Right.
Let's get back to the Broncos, though.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
My dream pick is still there.
Talk to the people. Tell them why you think there could be a golden ticket out there for the Broncos.
Yes, I think the Broncos could have a golden opportunity on their hands.
You love to see it.
Matthew Golden, to me, has upside to be the best receiver in this draft. And the combination of his speed, which we found out kind of at the combine, with his quickness, his twitchiness, and his reliability in the passing game for Texas, especially in big games, which fires me up. It's just game-changing to me, and I think that Sean Payton would know exactly what to do with him. You bring him in, you're not asking him to, be your number one wide receiver right away. You're giving him favorable matchups. I think he could tear up the league.
Betty, you were saying he has the best hands in this draft?
Behind Travis Hunter. I think he
That's
has
high praise.
the most elite ball skills. If you go look at his highlights, the way he catches the ball on the sideline, catches the ball in the middle of the field, and only 2 players, I believe, from the tape that I've watched run through the ball, and I'm talking about on a deep dig route. So you have those routes where it is 18 to 20 yards and you're breaking in and you can actually run through that ball. That's elite. And Travis Hunter can do that. Matthew Golden can do that. And that's the type of dynamic playmaker that would be incredible in this offense that we would love to see just get the ball. You can get the ball in his hands in so many different ways. And then you think about the reverses. You think about, and he's twitchy enough to where he can play in that slot. He can become that slot route runner that we are looking for, that 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5 guy, quick out, quick slant, option route. He could be that guy in this offense.
Absolutely.
What I've said, Benny, and I want to hear if you think this is a good comparison or maybe it's off. The thing about Matthew Golden to the Broncos is I kind of feel there's a bit of that meme of we have Matthew Golden at home and his name is Marvin Mims.
Look, Marvin's a great player and will continue to be a great player, and I think he has a unique role. He's our mini Joker, I believe, in terms of, he can run down the field.
Right.
You can give him the reverse. And you can use him really in the return game, all-pro returner. When you think about Matthew Golden and you think about his hands, you think about his route running ability, and that's very different. Marvin isn't a polished route runner. I think Matthew Golden is a day one. You can plug him in and play in the slot. I don't necessarily see him as an outside big body type of receiver, but he's that 5'10", 5'11", consistent catcher of the ball.
Yep.
Far more of a technician. I think that's
Yes.
an important specification.
Yep.
And in Sean Payton's offense, I think that plays up and matters a bit more than your typical offense. Now, if we're talking offensive skill players, and we are because it's the Broncos, Cardinals a mini hurdle to get over. Edge rushers, offensive guards, certainly their needs. Wide receiver, though, could also be in the mix. So if your team, we want a wide receiver for the Broncos, I know the chat is, this might be one where we got to survive it. We got to get past this one. You gotta get past the desert, survive the desert to see if you can get a good pick. Also, maybe a running back?
I made the bet. The odds were insane, which is why I made it. But again, 80-1. I actually took that in this stretch with them and the Bengals and the Seahawks. I went back. This is where I think Hampton's going to fall in.
You think so?
Yep. And the odds are just so long for all of them. I was like, why not?
Look at that suit for Matthew Golden, too.
Yeah.
Oh, we need that type of swag
Yes.
in Denver.
Honestly,
The suit is golden.
You know what it
honestly,
reminds
the
me
look
of?
is
Benny? It reminds me of the suit that Vaughn wore to Super Bowl 50.
Yeah.
That black and gold.
Wow, it does.
That's electric.
Who's
we remember draft prop odds. They remember suits from
Exactly.
Super Bowl Radio Row.
And we haven't really had a dynamic personality at receiver since probably Emmanuel.
Yeah. Yep.
And that suit right there and swagger right there reminds me of O.E. Sanders.
Yes, sir.
And if we bring somebody like that into the building, we like that.
We do like that.
We like that.
Pick? No?
Pick.
I thought Dion was giving us the signal.
No,
I wasn't. No one told me the signals. What are the signals?
Oh yeah. Okay, so we're doing this. What was that?
Shaker is like two
that's
post
break.
corners.
Shakers is two post corners. Yeah.
Okay.
That was something that Michigan State.
Can the people here hear us?
Oh yeah.
We think so.
Oh.
No.
How's everyone doing?
Whoa.
I love it. Ryan's doing some crowd work. You love to see it. Walter Nolen, 16th overall.
So now how are we feeling? Now we're feeling pretty good?
Pretty good.
Yep.
Pretty good.
What
There's
is
going to be
going
some
on here? I
really
have
good wide
questions.
receivers.
We
going
don't know.
on.
None of you have a drink.
I have my water.
I finished the coffee.
I
I
don't
needed
drink on
to
school.
stay
I don't drink
awake.
on school
You know.
nights.
Oh my!
I don't drink on school nights.
Was the buff show cooler than us?
The crowd's a little, the crowd's feeling anxious.
You want me to order 100 shots of
They're
tequila?
doing good. They're getting there. There's been some excitement here. Jeanty was a bit of a bummer there. We didn't love that.
Who's in charge of getting us drinks? Did you guys put someone in charge of that?
No.
I think it's
No one was in charge.
This
No
is
one
what,
was in charge at all.
Chad, this is what happens when I'm not here for the start of
It's
things.
true. It's true.
Would have immediately
100%.
assigned a drink person. Would have had the crowd, a little riled up.
I've been doing some crowd work.
Oh yeah.
The problem is they just can't hear it.
Dre's all. So where are you from?
Exactly. Yeah.
Did you guys get your Nuggets bets in?
No.
I've got the series line.
But
I was
now,
tempted to double down, but didn't.
now that some of these draft props have hit, actually, I could. Colston
True.
Loveland, first tight end.
Yeah, that was a
Bang,
good one.
bang. The
Bang,
value
bang,
was
What was the
great.
value on that?
Plus 240.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Small
potatoes.
Small potatoes. Yeah, thanks. Okay.
What just happened? Who picked?
Walter Nolen was picked by the Arizona Cardinals. So
Oh,
we've
good
had
pick.
back-to-back-to-back defensive line picks. The teens have been very D-line heavy after the top 10 was kind of O-line heavy, if you will. So we've got that going on for us, and we are just a couple picks away here, right?
I was really stressing out hard on my Uber over here.
You
and
were?
I just didn't need to be.
No, why would you?
Because the picks have been really inconsistent. Like
Yeah, I
13,
know.
14 were like back to back, and I was like,
It's-
oh, don't do this to me.
It's really slowed down, no doubt about it. Yeah, it's slowed down. What can I say? I think they're working the phones. I think trades are being worked out right now.
I just found my drink guy, Spencer.
Get me a Coors Light, would you? Okay. Bengals at 17. If they don't go defense, that'd be shocking.
Yep.
It would also be hilarious if they went running back.
It would be.
Like, just say, like, who cares, man?
I mean, what if that's one of those teams that said Omarion Hampton is actually better than Ashton Jeanty?
The pick is in.
I'll have a beer. Give me a Coors Light.
There you
Yeah.
go. The pick is in for the Bengals.
You want a drink?
No.
He was serious about not
But
drinking.
some water for Benny would be
He's a
nice.
grown man.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Big man in the
Sounds good.
I'm not abreast to any of these plans.
I mean,
I just need a drink.
I hardly was as well.
What did you get to drink?
Double tequila soda.
Oh.
I'm behind.
Wow.
Not you guys,
What's
but
the
there's
day?
got to be some people here that I'm behind.
It's Friday. Friday's approaching us tomorrow, so
Yeah.
Thursday's
Well,
the
day
new-
two of the draft.
Thursday's the new Friday.
That's what I was
Thursday,
gonna say,
Thursday,
yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Nuggets are
that's
playing.
right.
My nerves are about to go up to 10.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're going to
that's
get
true.
one of these TVs.
No. Half the
Do the
TVs
Nuggets
will
pull
be
it- do
changed
the Nuggets
over.
pull it
Have
off
no
I'm not
fear,
abreast of
Ryan.
these
Have
plays.
no fear, okay?
I think so. I'm not
Hey.
told, but I think so.
Come in, you're doing a little too much behind the curtain work, you know?
Tough on the road.
You don't
Plus
know the
190.
trials and tribulations we've
Which
been
I
through
love.
today.
Give me 2-1 odds, I'll take it.
You wouldn't know it if you saw us on stage,
That's true.
smiling happily, having
Yeah.
a grand old time.
You guys are doing great.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm just along for the ride.
Okay,
So,
ride.
what's your confidence level that the Broncos are about to do something fun?
like 80%. Travion
Really?
Henderson time.
I was thinking like a scale of 1 to 10, but I think that's an 8.
It is-
Henry?
Inches type of draft.
We have the
we got
pick is
the
in
in.
for the Bengals at
Wow, that
17.
looks beautiful.
Yes, it does.
Give it to me, yeah. It's a defensive lineman. If it's Omarion Hampton, I'll be bummed. Wow,
Stewart.
Shamar
Okay.
Stewart. You love to
Okay.
see it. You love to see it. He's a edge rusher, and I want to know who on our edges is going to cede their spot to Alicia Cook so she can talk to us about our big
Ooh,
brothers,
yes.
big sisters partnership
need to
real
make it up?
quick.
Yeah.
As
I
we
can take
get
a break too.
I got
hot
you.
and ready There you go.
I've been told I'm micromanaging by the chat, so
Whoa,
you better get out of
micromanaging?
here.
Oh, man, chat. Spot on analysis by you guys. Alicia, come on here. We just told you about our exciting 3-year partnership with Big Brothers, Big Sisters. Such a valuable partnership in a community. We're so excited about this. Just like the draft. I have a hard time ever saying, there you go. Alicia's getting some help from the crowd, fixing up her hair. You love to see it.
That's what mentors do. They get you ready.
That's exactly
yes.
right. We are a community. We're here to mentor and help each other at every
That's
turn,
right.
I've been a mentor to Hank. He's
It's true.
mentored me from time to time.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
we figure it out. So, for those who don't know, for those who are just tuning in on YouTube, let's tell them once again, what is Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and why is it so valuable to our community that we love so much
Big
to be
Brothers,
able to
Big
do this?
Sisters. We are the largest mentoring agency in Colorado, and we ignite the power of youth through mentoring. We serve about 1,500 youth a year, and we are really sold out, really help youth, keep them out of the juvenile justice system, and we help them plan for their future. I am in tears watching this because so many of these boys remind me of the kind of boys we serve.
100%. It is a wonderful thing. And yeah, just the power of mentorship, the power of having someone who can give you a positive example in your life, right?
Exactly.
And you don't need to be Superman, right?
No, not at all.
None of us are perfect. But even us, we are just so incredibly fortunate to live the lives we do, to be able to do these passion jobs, to be able to interact with these wonderful fans of ours, these diehard, passionate fans that are invested in our community and our teams. And being able to share that with littles is something I'm so excited about.
I'm so passionate. If I wasn't representing my company, I would have worn my T-shirts that says, "Fight for those who don't have the same privilege as you."
Yes.
And I think about all these boys. I can guarantee you they had some mentors.
No doubt. I mean, none of us can do it alone. It's so important. I am so excited about this. We're announcing it on the draft. We've announced it this week, but it's a 3-year partnership, and not just at DNVR, in the entire of ALLCITY, all 5 of our markets, all 5 of our cities.
Yes.
I'm so excited to interact with bigs and littles alike.
That's right.
And if you could just speak to, obviously it's really important, the mentorship aspect for the littles in our community.
Yes, yes.
But how much are the mentors getting out of this as well?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Before I say that, I want you to know tonight, I am here trying to recruit some male bigs. We have 300 littles on our waiting list, and 72% of them are boys looking for a male role model. But it is so fulfilling. Last year, our Surgeon General came out with a report called the Loneliness Report. And as much as we're on social media, Americans are lonelier than ever. And that's bigs. That's adults that message came from. So just being able to give back what it does for you, being able to volunteer and give back helps with your mental state of mind. Also, it changes your opinion sometimes, no matter how you vote, no matter how you live, because it's hard to hate from up close.
Damn straight.
So if you are working with people who come from a totally different demographic, socioeconomic level, I bet you're going to think differently and you're going to be a better person because of it.
100%. We are social animals. We crave that human contact. One of the most powerful lessons I learned is we are predisposed to want to help people. Helping others makes us feel good. And you won't believe it how much something like this, how much mentoring these littles in our community, which we hold so dear, is going to do for you. Alicia, I could not be more excited.
Thank you.
I thank you so much.
Thank you. And just to let you know that mentoring
please.
is not just a feel-good thing, right? 92% of our littles view their bigs as important in their lives. 20% are more likely to go to college, and those who are mentored earn 25% more in income over a lifetime than those who are not. Why not do it? Why not help?
Think of the power you have for our youth in our community. And look, if we're not taking care of the youth in our community, forget it.
Forget it.
We might
Most
as well
vulnerable.
not bother with the community because
Youth
it
and
all starts
elderly.
right there.
That's right.
Alicia, thank you again.
Thank you.
I am
It's
so
great to be
excited. It's been
here.
amazing to interact with you and hear your passion, hear your story. Go to the beginning of the show to hear Alicia's story. Really inspiring and so relatable, frankly.
Thank you.
We cannot wait to get into more of this mentorship. I urge you to check it out, get involved, and go to BBBS, that's BBBS.org/AllCity to get more information, to sign up, fundraising, you name it. So many great opportunities and events going on in Colorado. I thank you so much as the CEO of
Thank you.
Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Colorado, and cannot wait to get this partnership off the ground.
Let's go. Let's
Fantastic.
go. Come on.
Fantastic.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Alicia. Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
guys.
Benny.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Also amazing on the mic. So you love to see that.
Thank you.
From Alicia. Just a phenomenal guest. And yeah, the Seahawks pick is in. It's going to be exciting right now
is.
as we say goodbye to Alicia. Alicia, do you want your folder? She'll figure it out. Okay, Seahawks, just 2 more picks, folks.
Yes.
Just 2 more picks.
Just 2
Henry,
more
are
picks.
you getting hot?
No,
Your cheeks
actually,
are a little red.
That's because I golfed today and didn't put sunscreen
How'd you
on.
play?
44 on the front, 43 on the back. For the first 18 of the year, I'll take it.
You could play.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Yep.
All right, guys, we're getting into the draft. Your big draft. What would be your big draft for the Broncos with just a couple picks out? Of course, our big draft brought to us by Big Brothers and Big Sisters
Sick.
of
Says the
By the way, I
Colorado.
come bearing gifts.
Oh,
Yes.
good.
A golden
This is
lager.
actually a big draft.
This is a big
Oh,
draft.
my
Seattle
gosh.
drafted a guard.
Wow, Gray Zabe. Again, Ryan, I would have bet anything 2 months ago that Shador Sanders would have been drafted before Gray Zabe.
Yeah, they're messing up on Shador, but we don't have to get into all that quite yet.
But we hope the Broncos profit.
No,
Because-
I don't believe in trade backs.
Oh, never mind. We hope the Broncos
So-
don't profit.
Ryan's
Nah,
big draft
against
would
my
be
religion.
Matthew Golden. You said as much.
Yes, just draft Matthew Golden. He's almost certainly going to be there at this point. Tampa Bay's not in the.
You wouldn't think.
I
You'd
guess
think
they
you're
could
fine.
be.
No, I think Tampa's safe to get by.
The Broncos got it's interesting now. The Broncos are 1 pick away, but now you have all of the skill players that were pretty much mocked. Besides the receiver from Arizona, T-Mac,
Yeah.
you have all the skill players still there.
Yep.
Now you go best available. Who can add the most to the team right away?
And we see if the Browns loading up on all that extra ammunition is a move to trade back. Henry, what would be your big draft for the Broncos? What would that look like right now? 2 picks out.
Skill position.
Oh,
Big
thanks.
draft is skill position. I think I Hampton, Henderson, Golden, they're all kind of same in my book.
Wait, what about Will Johnson, though? Is he still on the board?
He is still on
Yeah.
the board. And that,
Bill Johnson's still on the board, no doubt.
wow, you could call him Bill.
Of course.
You could.
He is
He might hate
The
that.
question is, though,
He is the best player available on my board. Oh, no, that's Shador Sanders. Never mind.
Oh, yep, him.
Oh, man.
do you
For me, it
draft
would be a
Will
trade
Johnson?
down.
Yeah, do you draft Will Johnson with the injury history? The question is, what do they have? What does Bo Lowry say?
Yeah.
They have the medical reports
Yeah.
there.
Well, and especially after you go after Dre Greenlaw, injured,
Yep.
Tauno Funga, injured, Evan Ingram, injured. If you go from that streak into injured Will Johnson's, okay, you're really calling your shot there.
Someone in the chat, my guy, Robert Barlett, better known as Bobo, tells
known.
us that Jahdae Campbell's still up too. Well, guess what, Bobo? Jahdae Campbell also some injuries. Some are saying, you know what? I won't make that joke.
Okay.
I won't say that his injuries are his personal jihad. That's
Wow,
just not
you
worth-
can't say that.
No, you will not.
You can't say that.
Ah, damn it.
Oh, no.
Damn it, I did
no,
it.
No,
Ah,
damn,
I
you
did
did.
I'm just doing one thing. I'm just refreshing Zach Stevens' Twitter.
Really?
Yeah?
Yeah, he's the number 3 insider
The way to go.
in the NFL.
Oh, I thought you were going to say on the Broncos, and I was like,
No,
whoa.
he named Rappaport number 2, which was
That's crazy.
Yeah, he called him out and said, like, you're in second place. Zach's right behind, though. He's in third.
Wow, I love that for us.
Let's go, Zach.
I really love that
go,
for
Zach.
us.
Let's go, Zach.
Killing it. Buccaneers picking. Thanks,
So-
Adam Schefter. What's that supposed to mean?
So maybe because the Broncos don't trade back, the Buccaneers are taking a while here because they're fielding trade calls.
Yes. I think we have.
Adam Schefter says Buccaneers are making the pick.
Well, there goes that.
Also, side note, probably bad time for a side note. So they have the wall, the Clippers arena.
Yeah.
They put horse hats on the seats to distract Nikola Jokic when he shoots free throws.
Pretty good idea.
Yeah,
Pretty
but
good
also
idea.
it kind of feels like you're supporting him, you know?
Yeah, and also,
Like a
It
cheese
feels
head.
like
It's like a
they're-
cheese head.
They've
You know,
got
you're
some
not
hot
distracting the
Broncos
Packers.
takes, you know?
also
Yep.
he's been distracted already on his free throws. Maybe this actually helps him lock in.
That's been terrible.
Ryan, what's the score tonight?
108, 104 Nuggets.
Okay. Another nail
So
biter.
another close one.
Good. Oh, Broncos on the clock. Fire.
Wow.
Are you
Who
sure?
did Tampa Bay take? We have Glenn Willett telling us Cam Scatterboo should be the pick. So, Glenn, we love you. That's a great take.
Oh.
Who did the Buccaneers take?
Let's wait for the graphic.
I'm about to call him the bad name. Igbuka? Henry, you have it right there. Jordan
but I
Schultz
don't
saying
wanna-
it's Emeka Igbuka from Ohio State.
It is. So he could have been a Bronco.
He could have been a Bronco, but your golden ticket's still on the board.
Yes.
Hampton Henderson, H&H, they're still available. Shador Sanders, though. Shador Sanders, do they move down? There was a lot of talk of the Paytons, George most of all, working the phones.
Yep.
With three guys that we like that, you could go back a little.
Yeah, totally.
But how far?
Emeka Egbuka getting drafted to
So
the Bucks.
the Browns added
Yeah.
have pick
Emeka
33 and
Egbuka.
36.
Emeka Ibaka.
The Browns have picks 33 and 36. I'd be okay with moving back to 33. Then you're the top of the second round. You're the belle of the ball. All of tomorrow, we're the belle of the ball.
Andre, all these
Be
people
the belle
are
of
here
the
to see a
ball.
pick. We're not trading out of the first round.
Is it just because of that? That's just because everybody's here.
Yes.
These guys love draft value.
Sean, George, all these people didn't come here to see the Broncos have traded out of the. Not yet. Not yet. We don't have to worry about. I don't want to freak anyone out. He's freaking me out. Sorry.
Yeah. It's you know how couples work. Sometimes one freaks out, the other one calms
Yeah.
them down. With Ryan and I, we freak each other out,
Yeah. Exactly.
which is electric.
That is electric. Any
I
second.
was gonna wait until it goes on the screen to get the people fired up about it. It's kind of taking a while.
It's taking a long while. It's
They gotta-
taking a long while.
They got to make sure they show Shador every 5 minutes.
Yes.
He's running into that
Watch him sweat.
Brady Quinn situation. Didn't he drop in the
yeah.
draft? Aaron Rodgers dropped
Hopefully
in
it's
the
an Aaron
draft.
Rodgers, not a Brady Quinn.
There you go.
Things worked out a little
Second
better. Yeah.
Okay. This is where Ryan's going to do his best work.
All right, here we go,
This
guys.
is where he's
We're
really
on the
going to
clock.
work the crowd.
Any second, it's just going to pop up right
We're
here.
on the clock.
Any second.
Don't spoil the. Do what you got to do.
Ah, boy.
Everybody, so it's kind of free for all, whatever
Let's-
you're feeling.
Yeah.
Let's build up a little excitement while we're on the clock first.
Yep.
Okay, and then we can kind of play the vibes.
What would you do here?
Okay.
There's one.
I'm going to Murray Hampton.
I think I go Hampton.
I'm going Hampton.
Golden.
I go Henderson.
I
would
don't
go
dislike
Henderson.
Golden. I don't dislike Henderson. It's kind of a three-way tie in my mind.
Wow, really come at it.
Let's get
All right, Broncos are on the
go.
clock. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Any
We're
second.
ready.
Any moment.
There's my people.
Man,
My people are alive. And all they needed was we needed to have drinks. They became alive.
honest, I thought they could hear us great.
No.
Ah, shit.
No, you can only really hear if you're right by the speakers.
Fudge.
Interesting.
But it's because it's really loud in this bar because it's packed for the Nuggets game. It's packed for the draft.
Yeah, no, I mean, this crowd's amazing. We sold 69 tickets, which I thought was an amazing omen, and honestly, it looks way more packed than that. Which I guess 69 tickets could be given to, 2 tickets
So
per.
the Broncos could be in here kind of like telling the Steelers, you got to trade up with us
You could lie.
if you want to get
Yeah,
Shador.
you could
Otherwise, we're trading this pick to the Browns.
Pull off the old Trubisky one spot move.
Yes.
Luca Evans of the Denver Post saying Broncos set to pick here at number 20, which I take is meaning not a trade, but
Yep.
Yeah. What's Zach saying though?
He
has
said
not-
the
The
Broncos
Broncos
are
aren't
on the
trading.
clock.
oh, he said the Broncos
Zach
are trading.
Stevens saying the Broncos aren't trading.
They
We're
will make the
making
pick.
this pick, guys.
We're making a
We're
pick.
making it right
Come
now.
on. Come on.
Oh man. Oh man. If you're doing crowd work, you should
nervous?
serve it.
Any
Do you want
second, it's going to be
spoilers or
right there.
It's it'd be weird if we don't spoil it, I think.
Okay.
It would be weird.
Okay.
Otherwise, we just
because
sit here
we've been
quietly
doing
and
it.
stare
I like
at the camera.
Look, as long as I'm here with the boys, anything's fine by me.
But do we whisper so they can't hear? Do we not spoil it for them?
Man, so you doing that made me
Tough.
think that Monster Jam read. I thought the whole place was hearing it, and it was
You want to
amazing.
know the pick when we know it?
Giants been trying to get into round 1. Give me some tweets. Keep moving.
I only subscribe to Zach Stevens' tweets.
Okay.
We're waiting on Zach. Number 3
Wow.
NFL insider.
Wow.
Scoop Stevens.
Yeah, right. And of course, the chat wants us to tell them, and that
Yes.
makes sense. That
Yeah, the
makes
chat's
Yeah.
gonna know. The
Yeah,
chat's
chat,
gonna
you
know.
guys are real ones, though. You're pure ball knowers over here.
I'm gonna announce it to the people once we know it.
I believe
Okay,
in
do
you.
it. Do it. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. They say they're making their pick.
Yep.
We're saying they're making their pick.
Who
be.
are they
Could-
picking?
Let's see.
We
He
need a-
wants a wide receiver. We're gonna find out.
We desperately need a Taco Bell commercial right now.
Wow.
That would be electric.
Come on.
Your computer's about to die.
What?
Oh.
9%. 9%.
Oh my gosh!
We got
I saw
this.
your face on the stream. I thought
Oh, yeah, that was the
I was like,
sign.
holy cow! Is the pick in? Did I miss it? Man, the chat's really Will Johnsoning it up. They
I
want
mean-
Bill Johnson.
That would be maybe the most talented player left.
The official Denver Post account just tweeted, "What makes Korea's favorite noodle dish so good? At this moment, fire them into the sun." This is not the moment to be. Oh, the Denver Post.
In this economy.
Derek Harmon would also be a fun pick. Former Spartan Derek Harmon.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we got some good crowd work going on. Love it. Pardon us, stream. We got to do some hyping up.
Could be any moment.
Yeah. We're all refreshing Zach Stevens' tweets every 5 seconds, chat. We know.
Broncos taking it down to the wire.
Taking it
Really
down to
taking
the
it down to the
We
wire.
wire.
might just get it on TV. Maybe Sean wants them to be on the broadcast.
He's like, yeah, the people at Stoney's, they've waited this long. They can wait a little longer, right?
I mean, it has to be any second now.
Nuggets game has begun. MPJ with a block on the first possession.
Could Spency?
Oh, I see it all the way over there on those tiny TVs.
Oh,
Spency promised me half
A
the
moan?
Oh, there's.
oh,
Oh,
that's
they got it
Nuggets
behind
related.
us.
Yeah, that's good.
Come on, who do you got?
Show it to me when you see it, Henry,
Okay. I will do
and
that.
I'll announce it to the people.
Broncos, according to Mike Garofalo, also making a pick.
Okay, they're making a pick.
Everybody
here. No
agrees.
trade.
They're making a damn
They're
pick.
gonna make us
I
wait.
know.
They're
Tough
gonna
to
make
believe
us
at this point. The
Some of
pick
the
is
crowd
in.
wants the
The pick
trade
is in on the graphic.
Oh wow!
Pick is in.
Oh wow!
Now that we're so close to hearing the real one, it's tempting not to
At
spoil.
this point, you really should. No, we'll just wait till we find out, right?
Should we do it?
Yeah, we're that close.
Should we do it?
We're that close.
All right, we're gonna ride it out and see.
We're
it on
riding
the
it out.
broadcast.
We're riding it out. No phones. Get those
on,
phones
chat.
down.
You know.
Phones down.
Here we go.
We're gonna learn when you guys
We're gonna
learn.
find
Here we
out
go.
together. Will Johnson, electric. Omarion Hampton, I co-sign. Travion Henderson,
No
all in.
spoilers. No spoilers from Yaya.
Don't-
and Dion.
Yaya,
No
hold your
spoilers.
foot.
It'll be in the
know.
chat.
He
In the
is
chat, they'll say.
clueless. He is clueless. Right. Don't look at the chat. Just keep your spoilers to yourselves.
Dion knows. I can see it in his eyes.
Don't spoilers. No spoilers.
He's
Dion's
smiling.
got the hug in
Dion, a running back himself. Could that be a sign?
The Nuggets jump into a 7-3
Nuggets what?
lead. You love to see
I love
that.
a 7-3 lead.
Yep.
Wow.
In
That's a
honor
football
of number
score.
7.
Come on.
Oh, man.
What are we doing?
I don't
What
think
are we
it's
doing?
golden.
Get on
He
the
doesn't
phone,
look like he
Matthew.
got a call.
Get on the phone,
He
Matthew.
doesn't look like he got a
He
call
plays a
here.
corner.
Oh, man, I'm nervous.
Who is
guys.
this?
He said this.
Uh-huh.
So he said, you strap it. That means you lock it up.
Carson Sweshinger?
Oh,
Stop.
man.
Cover a linebacker?
No
That
more.
is-
No spoilers.
Henry's trying to read Dion's face to
Yeah.
see if we can get some spoilers.
He's smiling pretty big for it to not be a running back.
Don't spoil. Don't
We'll
spoil.
see.
No
Come on,
spoilers.
guys. Come on.
Come on, who
Let's
is
make
it?
this pick. Look at this legend with the Bo Nix mask.
Pick is in. Here we go.
The Broncos' most famous fan there, too. Okay. We did it, guys.
There it is.
We made it.
At
we
any
made
moment.
it to the Broncos
They
pick.
picked
Get on the-
Samuel.
They picked Samuel.
No. Guys,
okay, okay.
no.
I don't know Samuel.
Okay.
I thought it was like a one-name sort of thing.
He's literally
Like
a Make-A-Wish kid, okay? Just chill out.
Shout out Samuel. I'm just,
We
Shout
thought
out.
they drafted him.
Samuel,
We're not anti.
Hopefully Henry can be a mentor of his through Big Brothers Big Sisters program.
He might be older than me.
Yeah.
Come
Oh,
on,
man.
Sammy.
Oh, Samuel, give us some good news.
Come on, who is it, Samuel?
Come on.
I'll dress
Come
up for this.
on,
Get it out.
Samuel, come on.
Come on. Who is it?
I feel like
How
that
are we
guy
still
in the
sitting
book
here?
who's just like,
Here we
"Come
go. Here we
on,
go. Here we
Oh,
go.
come on, Samuel. Oh, I
Come
wish I could hear
on,
what he's saying.
Samuel.
I wish I could hear what he's saying.
All right.
He's hyping everybody up. Let's listen to
You know
Samuel.
it, Samuel. You know it, Samuel.
Come on, Samuel.
Oh, I'm getting phone notifications. I'm not looking. Come
I know,
on,
I can feel
Samuel,
buzzes.
come
Buzz,
on.
buzz, buzz, buzz. Whoa.
Okay.
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 Jahdae
Wow.
Barron of Texas.
Jahdae.
I thought it was
Did you guys see
Jahdae.
that at all?
Nope. Didn't think there was a chance.
Holy shit. Okay.
So you wanted a joker. This is a defensive
It is.
joker
It
right
is.
here. I guess we can't do horns down right now.
No.
Respect.
No, we are
horns down.
horns up at the moment.
Horns up. Okay. Look, this is a guy who's gotten comps to Brian Branch because coming downhill, he's a bat out of hell. Super aggressive, super versatile.
Yep.
Strong tackler, really good nickel cornerback. And now, I mean, you kind of have a,
Yep.
you know, a Super Bowl 50 type of secondary.
Yep. And I guess so the idea is he is a nickel. Like, you probably don't play him outside. One of the most productive nickels in the country in terms of pass breakups, interceptions, all that sort of stuff. Did he win the Thorpe
He
Award?
won the Thorpe
Won the
Award.
Thorpe Award for best defensive back in all of college football this year. And again, that's a production-based award. So why wouldn't he go higher in the draft? Because he's 5'10", 190. He's a nickel. He's probably never a boundary corner, although he was good on the boundary at Texas. And so sometimes that does translate more than you expect.
And
Sub
worth
4.4.
mentioning that the 40
Yep.
really confirmed, like, oh, you didn't think he was an outside corner? He ran a 4.39.
Exactly. So sub 4.4, you can run with him, just a little small.
When I look at this pick, I think it's a solid pick. Like you said, he won the Thorpe Award, fast kid. But now we're thinking about the division also, and we're thinking about the types of receivers that we have to go against.
Yeah.
And this is something that helps us close the gap in terms of the AFC West. The receivers that the Chiefs have, Lad McConkey in for the Chargers. You know, you have to be able to cover. This helps us to be more diverse in our secondary. Not more diverse, but more versatile in our secondary. So I like the pick. I think it's a solid pick.
To me, this is a classic. The Broncos actually stuck to their board and took the best player available that they had. There's no way
good
anyone
point.
would argue that this was a pick that was made out of need
Right.
or any
Right.
sort of
Yep.
reach.
Yeah.
They didn't reach for this guy. This is the guy that they had number one at their board right now.
Yep.
They said, let's stay true to it. Let's take it. Let's make our secondary one of the strongest, if not the strongest in the NFL. And let's dominate football games the way that the 2015 Denver Broncos dominated football games.
100%.
Now-
Defense wins championships, and that's
It
what we
does.
did. We added that. And also what this does, this gives us and this gives the Denver Broncos offense and Bo Nix more opportunities on offense. If you can stop the other team more, you get more opportunities on offense. So I like the pick.
Now, Jaquan McMillan has been your slot corner. Really liked. So the 2023 season, incredible. He shows up. He's making plays all over the place, getting his hand on just about every pass, making plays in the backfield. They're blitzing him, doing all that stuff. Production dipped a little bit this year. Now, I don't think he had a bad season. It just wasn't as productive. Now, it's pretty.
Forward with it, yeah.
Well, no, I'm talking Jaquan.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So Jaquan, again, the blitzes, all that sort of stuff, how sustainable is that? The coverability is solid for nickel corner, but it's all the other stuff that really makes him excel, makes him a plus player. He's on the bench now.
Yep.
Jahdae Barron is now your starting nickel. I also think it's kind of interesting that I'd always thought Riley Moss, if he moved inside, could fit really well there too. And so a bigger outside corner, a Will Johnson type, a guy who'd say he's a boundary corner in the NFL, that might make sense because it creates a competition where it could bump Riley inside, it could bump Riley to the bench, it could be Jaquan right there. You're very small across from Pat at this point, which is an interesting dynamic.
It's okay. He comes up and makes a play. Wow.
And the Steelers shocked the draft by taking Derek Harmon.
Yep.
And not Shador Sanders.
So
Shador sliding to the second round now.
So this
I
next
think he
pick,
might
though,
be.
is my number 2 best possible fit. Oh, no, wait. Sorry. A couple picks from now when the Rams pick.
For Shador?
The Rams would be perfect.
That is,
for him.
you had 49ers and Rams.
Yep.
That would be great for him. Also, my
Right? They didn't
Jackson
pick
Dart
already,
over
did they?
21 and a half hit.
Sorry.
The Rams, they didn't pick already.
No, they're
No.
like 25th.
Yeah.
So Barron's a 5-year player. He's a 3-year starter. When he was playing purely in the slot as a sophomore in 2022, 11 tackles for a loss.
Crazy.
From a guy that size, on top of 2 interceptions, one of which he took to the house. Oh, yes, he also took a fumble to the house in that season. Then 2 years later, wins the Thorpe Award. I think the last 2 seasons at Texas, Barron's lost a total of like 3 games. So
and when we talk
that's
about,
pretty good.
When we talk about bringing an attitude to the defense,
Yep.
he brings
Yep.
that. When we talk about a dynamic playmaker on the defensive side of the ball who was not afraid to come up there and tackle, who's going to have to tackle Ashton Jeanty and get down there and make plays, we now have that in our slot corner.
Totally. Again, like last year, you felt like at times if there was speed in the slot, Jaquan, that's not the perfect fit. Because again, like the reason he was undrafted, smaller, not the fastest. Now all of a sudden, you might be able to get away with playing man, blitzing more, just a little bit more often.
Yeah.
There might be a few more times per game where you say, you know what, this is a matchup where we can trust this a tiny bit more. And for a team that has been blitzing so much out of that spot, out of the safety spot, like those become more valuable positions.
The versatility of him paired with Riley is that you can really play those matchups at the nickel spot. So you've got a bigger slot wide receiver. You put Riley there, and Barron has the speed to stay on the outside. Mostly we see that speed when he's coming downhill, bat out of hell, complete like...
Chris Harris Jr. said he likes the pick, you know? Somebody who was a slot corner, tough, go up there, make a play, make a tackle, get interceptions, take picks to the house. I don't know if that's a comp because Barron is a lot faster.
Yeah.
Yep.
Better athlete.
Tied for fourth
right.
in the FBS with 5 interceptions last year. That's the kind of production you're talking about. 11 tackles in the Peach Bowl against Arizona State.
And you know,
11
corner, yeah.
11.
You talk about when now you take an older player who has several outcomes of being able to work out,
Okay.
right? Like he could play safety, he could
True.
be nickel,
Safety,
he could be an outside corner for you. Like there's a lot of places you can put him if he fails in maybe your first idea. And yeah, it's win now window. Okay, you got a safe player at a premium position who can be an immediate contributor for you, and you can really get at a bargain value for those first 4 to 5 years of his contract. So
Chargers take a receiver here to combat our nickel pick.
I don't
could it be
know.
a running back?
Lad McConkey versus Jahdae Barron is going to be electric.
This is crazy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we get that now.
I think this was the Broncos saying, we want a wide receiver, we want a running back, and we just know there's depth.
Yeah, we'll find him.
And we just don't
We'll
need to do it right now. I'd be really curious to hear what they thought of Matthew Golden and how close that was to be in the pick here. They went with a guy from Texas, just a different guy from Texas who also is incredibly fast. But this is a really interesting pick that I think will be more exciting once people see him play.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. I also wonder if we're underrating.
Oh, we got Fran.
Yeah.
Okay, let's bring on Fran Duffy, our All-City draft analyst, Barron. So he's gonna give us that lowdown. Fran, we're shocked. Not the skill player we expected. Instead, a safe player, a fifth-year senior. What's your breakdown? How does this guy fit in the Broncos defense?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be a nickel corner, guys. I was surprised by this pick. This honestly is probably my most shocking development from the night, just because there had been no buzz whatsoever linking not just the Broncos to Jahdae Barron. I did that the consensus, like wisdom of the crowd mock draft. No mock draft had the Broncos selecting Jahdae Barron, but there's also no corners getting mocked to the Denver Broncos. So just this selection, it definitely caught me off guard. Here's what I'll say. There are some that feel like he could be a safety moving down the line, so that's something to keep in mind. The other one, and I'll be interested to hear from Sean Payton and George Payton as the selection gets broken down that way. But I think when you're looking at Jahdae Barron, there are certain parts of the profile that I really like. This guy is a stat sheet stuffer. He finds a way to the football consistently. TFLs, sacks, PBUs, interceptions, forced fumbles, a lot of impact plays. Now, what I would say is he is used almost entirely in off coverage, playing from depth. He's never used up in the line of scrimmage in press coverage. So everything is, I'm going to react to everything in front of me, and I'm going to fly a million miles an hour downhill, and I'm going to try and make plays on the ball. When you're looking at Jahdae Barron, that's the way he likes to play. That's him at his best. I do have concerns down the field, him trying to find the ball late, him trying to make a play on the football, what we call it in phase with a wide receiver against a vertical route. See a little bit less of that when you are playing in man-to-man, when you're playing in the slot as opposed to outside the numbers. Right. I do like him more as a zone corner as opposed to a man corner. I'm definitely lower on him than consensus. I would say I'm one of the lower evaluators when it comes to Jahdae Barron. I like the player. I saw more of a solid nickel as opposed to like a true impact nickel. Right. You are taking him this high if you think that he is going to be Brian Branch, right? That's I think what you are hoping if you are taking him that high. I personally did not see that, but I could see how others were really high on him.
Yeah, I'm curious. Again, having talked through this a little bit, I wonder if we're underrating the potential for him to play on the boundary. Because again, I came into the draft thinking the same thing, that he just doesn't fit that way. But you see the 40 time, 5'11", maybe he gets away with it. Sub 30-inch arms makes it a little tougher. Do you think there's any chance that he gets to the NFL and the things that we saw in college work? That he was playing fairly well on the boundary when they put him out there. What if you could put a percentage out? What would you say?
I mean, it's certainly possible. Like, I'm never one, Henry, to say, like, never. So I'll never say never, right? So I would never say, like, oh, yeah, there's no way he's going to have to slide inside. I would say he is most likely going to have to kick inside. And I've actually had more conversations with people that feel that he is a long-term safety as opposed to a long-term outside corner. That said, my big thing is this. I've evaluated Jahdae Barron for the last 3 years, because I watched him going into his junior year, thinking that there's a chance that he could declare. I watched him for his senior season. He accepted an invitation to the Senior Bowl after the 2023 year. After he accepted that invitation, he decided he was going to go back for his super senior season because they told him, hey, you're going to play outside corner next year. You can help your stock. Clearly, he did that. He goes back and he has 5 picks this year. He wins the Thorpe Award as the top DB in college football. Here's what I would say. 5 of those, he had 5 picks. 3 of them came in the 2 games against Georgia. On those 3 picks, one was on a tip ball where he kind of looked it in, or the tip pass. One, the receiver ran smack into him and fell to the ground, and he was able to catch it off his back shoulder. And then the other one, the quarterback threw it, Carson Beck threw it, and Jahdae Barron was the only guy in the area, right? So kind of, I don't want to say fluky production, but yeah, like those interceptions is not necessarily like, oh yeah, like I love the way that he stayed hip to hip and stayed in phase with the receiver and found the ball late down the field, or I love the read he made from off zone coverage and jumped this route. You didn't see quite that level of route instincts and route discipline from Jahdae Barron in the deep part of the field. The closer he was to the line of scrimmage, the better I felt overall about his play. I just didn't, to me, like taking a guy like that in the top 20 was surprising for me overall from the Broncos.
Fran, put your George Payton hat on and Sean Payton hat on, and why did they make this pick?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's a mindset thing, right? It's a culture thing. Everybody loves Jahdae Barron, from the person, what he can bring to the table from a character standpoint, from a locker room standpoint. He definitely has that mentality. And then look, the other thing too, we have to remember that who is the defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos. This actually just clicked with me now that I'm talking about it. The defensive coordinator for the Broncos, obviously Vance Joseph. The defensive backs coach for the Texas Longhorns over the last few years was Mickey Joseph, who was Vance Joseph's cousin. So he got a little bit extra intel there. It's his brother, rather, right? And now Mickey, he just got hired by the Saints, so he's working in the NFL. But I'm sure they've talked over the last few years. You've got a sense of what he can bring to the table, Jahdae Barron. So I think when you're looking at that, I'm sure they got an extra intel. Yes, we feel good about what this guy's going to bring to the league. Maybe Sean Payton sees a little honey badger there. Maybe because obviously he had success with him down in New Orleans as well. Again, I didn't quite see that. That's not the level of player I personally saw over the 3 years that I've been evaluating. And because I knew I was so low, guys, you can ask one of my partners here with the Eagles, with PHLY, Bo Wolf. I've gone back through Jahdae Barron film like 3 or 4 times just this offseason because I knew I was so low on him and everybody else was talking him up. And I said, maybe I'm missing something. Let me watch all of his targets. Let me watch all the times that he makes a play on the ball. Let me just watch all of his run defense. I wanted to find other reasons to like him. And I do like him. He's a good player. I just didn't see this quality of prospect when I watched him on tape.
Fran, does it make you more excited or feel better about this pick for the Broncos that you're inserting Jahdae Barron into a defense that already has Pat Surtain, that has Riley Moss, who had a nice second season, that has Talanoa Hufanga, that has Brandon Jones? I mean, you're kind of, in my opinion, maybe more freed up to let him roam, let him get around the line of scrimmage because you have all those other pieces around him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that certainly helps. And maybe he's not a player that is necessarily going to be. You're going to throw a lot on him that way. But at the end of the day, the secondary, you're looking. That's a weak link position, right? Where you don't want to be the weak link in the chain when teams are going to target you over and over and over again. And I don't necessarily think that that's going to be Barron, but that's what you're trying to guard against. And so I like the idea. Hey, you know what? Like even if this guy doesn't have super high upside, if we're keeping this one in the fairway and we just want to hit a double, I'm going multi-sport analogy here, but if we want to keep this safe, all right, well then let's get Jahdae Barron. We feel good about the projection here, plug him into that secondary, and we don't have a weak link there at that spot.
Could this be a C.J. Gardner-Johnson type of player who was a slot / safety? Yep. Is super dynamic, can play all over the field, brings a level of physicality that you need on a championship defense. We saw C.J. Gardner-Johnson do it. I was teammates with him in New Orleans. He was that type of playmaker on that defense in New Orleans. Then you see him go to Philly. Then you see him go to Detroit, back to Philly. But could he be that type of player?
He absolutely could, and I love that comparison there. I think when you're looking at C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I remember going down to a game live in the Swamp against South Carolina. He had an interception in that game where, again, he's just kind of playing from depth, read and react, and make a play on the ball, similar to what Barron does at his best. And I think that's something that you're hoping to get from a player like that. That's why, and I love guys going back and listening to all of these coach and GM press conferences after these picks because it just gives you a kind of a glimpse into the mind's eye of what these guys were thinking. Because these guys aren't dumb, right? They feel convicted about these selections, and so you get the whys behind it. And yeah, when you're talking about what intel did the Broncos get during the pre-draft process, they didn't do a ton of work with Barron. They had not been linked to Barron at all. So this is going to be a fun one to break down in the coming days.
The Sean Payton smokescreen.
Yep. Well, and interesting that the rest of the AFC West has gone after running backs so far, right?
Yeah.
We just saw the Chargers draft Omarion Hampton. The Broncos instead go against the grain. Everyone was talking running backs, tight end.
Yeah.
They go after the premium position, though we could argue maybe it's more of a nickel, maybe it's more of a safety. Is that really a premium position? But he's a Thorpe Award winner who ran a 4.39, right? So there's something there to having a premium corner. Interesting. This, to me, feels like a real George Payton pick, not a Sean Payton pick. And I don't know. In the last 2 years since Sean's taken over, I don't know that we've had a ton of these. This one really feels like a George Payton pick right here.
Yeah, it certainly could be that way. Because I think when you're looking at Sean Payton in the past, a lot of the guys that they have taken high up in drafts, they've been young players, bigger players. You're dealing with a little bit of an outlier. And honestly, like one of the most surprising 40 times from the combine, regardless of position, was
Right.
Jahdae Barron running that sub 4.4. Because honestly, I had a conversation with a scout. He said, you find one play where Jahdae Barron looks like he runs 4.39 on film, and that will be the first one you show me. And honestly, that was exactly how I felt when I was watching all day. I was worried about what that 40 time would look like, and he ran and he blew that out of the water. That's a huge, huge win for Jahdae Barron, and a big part of why I'm sure they felt comfortable is the person with what he's going to bring to that Denver Broncos locker room.
Fran, we're going to be breaking down some film tonight, digging in a little more on Jahdae Barron. What year should we focus on? Is that Thorpe Award winning 24 season, or is it more of that sophomore year where he's wearing number 23 and he has those 11 tackles for a loss? What do you think is the year we focus in on how you'll actually be used in Denver?
Yeah, I think that honestly the nickel stuff would be the most translatable, and so that you're going to be leaning more into 2023, 2022. But I think when you go back to this year, I mean, there were times where he did travel inside, so he did play a little bit in the nickel here in 2024 as a super senior. So you can get some of those plays, but some of the production this year, like I said, you look at those two Georgia games. They're not going to be the first ones you point out and say, look at what he did on this play. So yeah, you'll find some stuff though. There's some good plays to break down, Greg.
All right.
I love it. Thank you so much, Fran. Fran will be joining us throughout the entire draft. Really appreciate those insights. Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.
See you tomorrow.
Interesting one. One of my sayings has always been George Payton is addicted to drafting DBs.
It's true. That's right.
That addiction has come through. He was going through withdrawals, and
I'll just say this.
he got it done.
I think that Sean Payton and George Payton have a great working relationship. I don't think Sean Payton is letting George Payton overrule him when it comes to the Broncos' first-round pick.
Yeah.
So as much as it may be, maybe it's George Payton influenced, it's at the most that George Payton convinced Sean Payton that this was a great move, and Sean Payton then made the final call. I love him too, let's do it.
I think you're spot on. Also, the other thing, the running back value crowd, the just take the best player available crowd. Look, they did it exactly that.
Yes.
Maybe it's not your best player available, but your rankings don't matter. What the Broncos have on their board, that's what matters. And that's what they did. So
an interesting development happens after the pick, because if the Broncos didn't love Omarion Hampton, they'll love the pick that happened right after them, which is the Chargers taking Omarion Hampton. And that's 2 now in the AFC West, first-round running back.
So,
That's
Dre,
right.
can you compare and contrast Omarion Hampton and Najee Harris?
Sure. I mean, I think Omarion Hampton had 2 successful seasons, reminded me more of Joe Mixon with kind of a cleaner bill of health, while Najee was more of that bigger back, more of a receiving, get him out in the open type. Yeah, but Hampton has a little more between the tackle stuff, don't you think?
Yeah, I would say
Hampton,
so.
a lot of threat on the tires, though.
True. I think there might be a tick more speed with Hampton, too.
Also, just one thing of note, because I'm sure that when Broncos fans heard Fran mention Mickey Joseph, they were flashed back to the Carlos Henderson pick, which was heavily influenced by Mickey Joseph. Mickey Joseph was not with Texas.
Yep.
Very rare Fran misstep.
Yep.
he's usually
Nebraska
locked in,
Grambling State.
but he wasn't with Texas the last couple of years, so I don't think that had an influence on this.
Okay.
To me, this is just true
Carlos.
best player available. And
Yeah.
respect to the Broncos. A lot of people talk about it. Not a lot of people are about it.
And look, Jahdae Barron, this is a guy who is being mocked in the top 15 by a lot of people. This was a guy who was a top 2 cornerback in this class for a lot of people.
And it sounds like Will Johnson's knee health is scaring people off, so that might make him number
That's
one by a lot
all
of
the tweets. Yep, 100%.
So I think that might be part of the grading process when we look back on this 5 years from now. How does Will Johnson pan out? Because Will Johnson, I thought, was the better prospect. Again, different players in some ways, more box stuff, more safety type things from Jahdae Barron. They're not as similar as you would expect two cornerbacks to be, but I do think it's interesting. Oh, there's Zach. Oh, Zach looks angry. No, never mind.
There's that smile. Give it to us, Zach. Why'd they make this pick?
Let's go, boys. And first off, I know everyone was surprised, but let me tell you, I talked to someone in the Broncos building as this pick was being released. It was actually 5 seconds before the world found out about it, and they told me they were shocked by the pick. Inside the draft room. This person is inside the war room, and they were shocked by the pick. So this wasn't just Broncos country that was shocked by the pick. It was everyone who was surprised by the pick. And here's what I'm told he's going to do. He's going to play nickel cornerback for the Broncos to start off. So Riley Moss stays on the outside with Pat Surtain. But one of the things Jahdae Barron told us was why the Broncos drafted him was because of his versatility. He said he can play everywhere, inside, outside. And I'll tell you what, this guy can tackle. He can intercept the ball. He had 5 picks last year. He is not afraid to tackle. He's a smaller guy, 5'11", 194 pounds, but he can get physical in there, and that's what you have to have from that nickel position. And guys, this move is the Broncos just saying once again, we're going to have the best defense in the NFL this year.
That's the goal.
And building that defense outside in, Zach, instead of inside out, you know?
Well, they do have the inside guys. I mean, with the front 7 guys, and they have those guys in the middle. And this is a pick that we just thought would be such a luxury if the Broncos went corner. Obviously, Will Johnson there, but the Broncos go for a guy that's extremely versatile with Jahdae Barron. And guys, fun little trivia thing here. Jahdae actually called Pat Surtain earlier this week. And Pat didn't answer. When Pat called him back, he didn't answer. So he joked with us after that Pat's gonna make him carry his pads because of not answering his phone.
Now they just have a relationship. Is that just something that they've already had, or what's the inside there?
It's a good question, Benny. And yeah, they actually got connected through a financial advisor for both of them. And so he wanted to pick his brain about the Broncos, so called him earlier this week. And he told us after he was drafted that he had a little feeling that he was going to go to the Broncos. So I asked him, well, why did you have a feeling you were going to go to the Broncos? Because you were the only one to have that feeling that you might go to the Broncos. And he said, just because I know how much they value versatility, specifically in the secondary. They like to move guys all over the place. You have to be able to play multiple positions and play all over the field if you want to play in Vance Joseph's defense. And that's something that I bring to the table. He felt like he fell in this draft. In fact, at pick 17 or 18, he talked to his mom. His mom said, how are you doing? He said, hey, I know it's God's plan, so whatever happens. I'm going to be fine. And now he's thrilled to be a Bronco. He was almost speechless talking to him, as he should be. This is the moment of his life right now.
It's incredible.
Zach, Dre thinks that this is a George Payton pick. I don't believe there's such a thing. What say you?
Well, I think a George Payton pick would have been trading back, and Sean said, okay, come on, we'll do anything but that. We're not trading back. So they compromised, go with the cornerback here. If you look at Sean Payton, he has had a lot of great defenses during his time with the Broncos, but also in his 15 years with the Saints. He is okay with building a very strong defense because he believes in himself to make the offense good enough. So this actually, while the player is a surprise, the Broncos going all in on defense with Sean Payton isn't the biggest surprise, especially with Travion Henderson still on the board. I'm going to be curious if the Broncos move up early in the second round or late in the first round to make a move to get him, because now we're seeing the rest of the AFC West teams take the running backs that the Broncos had their eyes on. Obviously, Bears get Ashton Jeanty, Chargers go Omari and Hampton, and the Chiefs have been linked to Travion Henderson. Hopefully that's going to happen.
Hey, Zach, quick question for you here. I'm putting you on the spot right now. Where does this take our defense?
Oh, it's the best defense in the NFL because you take this plus the Talanoa Hufanga plus the Dre Greenlaw. The Broncos are going all in on the defensive side, and this should be a thrill for Vance Joseph, but it should also be a message like, hey, we have to be the best defense in the NFL or right up there because that's what's going to allow us to go into Buffalo and beat the Bills in the playoffs. That's what's going to allow us to go into Kansas City in January and win, or heck, even in Denver in the playoffs in late January and win in those type of games. Sean Payton, he's that Bill Parcells guy. We'll hear it probably tonight. They'll point out this was a Parcells move. And that's all about just building specifically in the trenches and out, but then also on defense and out. And if anyone's going to trust himself to take an offense without a first-round pick from this year and build it into being good enough, it's Sean Payton. So he's given Vance all the pieces that he needs to be successful on defense.
Zach, what do you think the pick before Barron that disappointed the Broncos the most was?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, honestly, Ashton Jeanty to the Raiders. Now, it was expected, but when he went, I believe the Broncos were interested in trading up into the top 10 for him. I hear that there was noise with the Panthers at 8 right there, and then that's why kind of the Panthers made a surprising move by taking Tetero McMillan there, is because maybe a little bit of a panic pick, but they were ready to move out, and I know the Broncos were interested in moving up into the top 10. So I think that was the one that really got him. And then obviously the Bears of Colston Loveland. Look, they had Colston Loveland as their number 1 tight end. They wanted him. I put out right before the draft started that I think the Broncos would have traded up to 13 to go and get Colston Loveland. I stay true to that. I do not believe the Broncos thought they had to jump up before the Bears. They thought that, and I believe everyone thought that the Bears were going to get Tyler Warren at 10, so they thought that they were fine waiting until after their pick to go and get Colston Loveland. But I really do think that Sean fell in love with Colston Loveland. But when a guy goes in the top 10, there's not much you can do about that.
Outstanding insights. It's interesting they go defense. Still 2 days to fix all those skill players, but definitely surprised us. Biggest surprise of the Sean Payton era? Did he manage to keep this one even closer to the vest?
Oh, 100%, without a doubt. No one saw this coming. Like I said, and just remember, there's a great sources in the draft room right before the pick was announced to the public told me that they were shocked. And not just that this person was shocked, said they were shocked inside the room about this pick. So that kind of tells you no one saw this coming. And just like last year, when we knew Bo Nix was only known by like George and Sean, they did the exact same thing with this pick. And we'll get more insight talking to them later tonight, but that's just tremendous insight that I got, is even they were surprised in the room. And he is being told, or I'm being told, that he is being called a nickel inside the Broncos war room. So once again, you expect Riley Moss to stay outside and then have Jahdae Barron go on the inside.
I was kind of hoping that they would try to sell us that he could play outside. Because, that was the big question, where he can play inside, he can play safety, but it would have been nice to hear, we think that he could be a boundary corner, because it just changes the value a little bit.
Well, Henry, Sean is going to say that tonight. There's no chance that he gets up there and says that he's just a nickel cornerback. But I believe with Riley Moss. Now, one of the other things, too, I know that inside the building, the Broncos think Riley Moss can be one of the best inside corners, nickel corners in the NFL. So maybe there is a little bit of a competition there between those guys for the outside and inside spot in training camp. But what I believe right now is that he's going to be inside, Riley's going to be inside.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, Z. Get locked in.
Zach, great to see you, brother.
Appreciate you.
Maybe we talk one more time if they trade up to Trevion Henderson.
That would be fun.
All right, let's do it. Speaking of trade-offs,
Houston trades picks in New York. Houston trades picks in New York.
Oh, that's Shador.
Is that
That's
Shador
gotta be
Sanders
Shador.
music?
That's
Shador
Shador
to
Sanders
Malik-
music.
Shador to Malik Neighbors?
Shador
Who's the other
Malik.
quarterback? Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart.
Are they saying that they like him more?
I thought that was New Orleans. I don't know who they like.
I like Shador.
Shador
was
can
the
handle the
lines on New
Shador can
Orleans,
handle the
for
big
sure.
lights.
No one has ever been more primed for that.
Yeah.
No
Playing
doubt.
against Dallas twice a year.
They're on the phone with someone.
A third and a future third.
Oh, trade alert, trade alert. Let's see.
34, third, future third for 26.
Well, it's definitely an offensive player.
It's got to be a quarterback. It's got to be.
It has to be.
Dayball's
And they
excited.
just jumped to get over the Rams, who I was
Yes.
saying
Oh, right.
was my
Exactly.
number 2 fit for Shador.
Exactly.
Oh,
you
I'd
know
love to hit
ball,
my
brother.
Shador QB2 bet. Come on.
Is Shador on the phone? We can't see him because of Jordan Seaton,
Big seat.
who
literally.
will
Get
be
the hell
drafted
out
in
of
the
the
top
way.
10 of this draft in 2 years.
It is, I mean, he is really selling himself because he is that big. Just blocks everything.
Are they in Campton, Texas right now, Ryan?
They
Is that
are
correct?
No, they're in Dallas.
Oh, man. Jackson Dart's hair. I wouldn't draft that guy now
All
that
right,
I see
so
him.
Shador was nowhere to be seen. Jackson
Shelled
Dart's
up.
taking pictures with his mom.
Oh, they're sad.
Yeah.
But I would be
yeah,
sad to play
he's
for that
bummed.
terrible team, too.
He's bummed.
It's got to be Shador. If this is the reaction to being drafted, he is going to get. Oh. I don't know.
Either he
Pity
hates
hugs.
the Giants or he's not getting picked here.
You can't get drafted as a quarterback to a team and react like that.
Yeah, you can because you're going to get sacked a lot.
Yeah, but like, imagine what the New York media,
Bro.
like every story tomorrow is like, this guy doesn't want to be here.
Yeah.
By the way,
Which he shouldn't.
my guy Matthew Golden goes to the Packers, and he put on an absolute show in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
I love that for us.
Did you just get it?
I'm a bit stunned by
I did get it.
Jahdae Barron.
It was not from the most trustworthy of the sources, but they haven't been wrong.
Another
yet.
shout out to Jordan Schultz? Let's
No,
go.
no, I wouldn't have.
You wouldn't have gone that far.
I would never know.
Oh, no. Nuggets down
Yeah.
15? Am I seeing that correct?
Last I saw was 14, so.
Yeah, they're not in a great place.
No.
Ouchie, 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 ouchie.
It's actually making me sick that we can't see it on one of these TVs.
Yeah, we gotta deal with that.
Okay, that's all Spencer's
Spencer.
right there. Just
Spence.
relax.
Spencer, can we get the Nuggets on one of those? Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you, Spencer.
This guy, if it weren't for Spencer, my night would be ruined.
Yeah,
True.
right.
The beers, the Nuggets. Ooh, maybe stop at McDonald's on the way back?
Jahdae Barron, you know?
Jahdae.
I'm going to really struggle with that.
I know. Jahdae.
But I decided we should keep doing it. I mean, you can ask him if he wants to change it.
Jahdae like Sade?
Jahdae Barron, either one sounds pretty cool to me.
Okay, good.
The Orange Baron?
Ooh. Okay.
Is that something? Is this
Okay.
something?
Okay. It's not nothing
All right.
yet.
Chat, what do you think?
The Broncos have added 2 dogs this offseason in the secondary in Talanoa Hufanga and Jahdae Barron. These are guys who are going to come downhill and make you feel them, be playmakers.
Speaking of dogs,
That's
and the
exciting.
Broncos, rest
I
in
think
peace,
tomorrow's
Parker
gonna
the
be-
Snow Dog.
Oh, yeah.
Always.
I never
Did
understood
they
who that
pick it?
was, and they died.
Never.
Well,
They,
don't
yeah.
be smirching.
But we gotta get. Oh, they did it. We just never were even told.
Who did what?
Jackson Dart.
Giants took Jackson Dart.
Oh. Schefter still doesn't have that.
No, but a lot of other people do.
That is.
Wow.
I mean, the Giants are going to giant, right?
I mean, Jackson Dart seems to think so.
Yeah, Jackson Dart wasn't even happy.
No,
oh,
he
we got
was-
the Nuggets.
He was very upset. No, it's not. No, I'm gonna stop talking because the Nuggets are on. It's a nice bonus.
So just everyone shut up.
Yeah, I don't know, Joel. You know, I know you're super down on not being able to get the 2 running backs that went in the division, but, you know, drafting a running back in the most loaded running back class we've seen in the last 10 years wasn't necessarily something you had to do at the 20th pick, you know? And I mean, just like we were talking about, you're going to have to trust Sean, whatever pick he makes on a skill player. You need to have the same mentality with a defensive player, non-skilled players as well, you know? I mean, these guys have made some educated picks lately, and they went after a Thorpe Award winner. So,
Thorpe Award winner, somebody who's played a lot of football, somebody who can come in here and be a great culture fit. They also talked about his character and him fitting into this defense, and then the fact that you have to be able to understand different coverages, play different styles of football because you're playing with Vance Joseph. I think we got a solid pick, man. I think we got a great football player.
Yep.
You know, so we got a great football player, and that's great. Like we talked about the value after pick 10, 12, or 13, whatever it may be. We talked about that value. And, you know, people couldn't believe that he fell this far. So I think we're going to be good.
Be so shocked when they see.
The Falcons are moving back into the first round to the Rams spot at number 26.
Yeah, that's
Shedeur
really
Sanders?
crazy.
If they take Shedeur,
Oh, that'd be electric. After taking Penix and shocking the world, that'd be so great, man. I would love that. Ay. This is bad. I actually wish I didn't have the Nuggets on this screen.
the Nuggets are going to be fine. Don't you worry.
Okay,
These
let's
people are
actually
gonna
see
be-
if this pick by the Giants is Jackson
this
Dart.
crowd.
It is. That's insane.
Watch this crowd.
That's insane.
I just have to say this. Drafting Jackson Dart over Shedeur Sanders is malpractice. That is front office malpractice.
Can you tell me why?
Shedeur's better at everything, except for maybe arm strength.
I
Well,
would.
Jackson Dart's not going in there to be a day one starter, though.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, he's getting up there though. It's got to be 23, right? I guess I'm 28.
I mean, this is why the Giants are the Giants. This is why they're stuck in this hole.
I would
can't
say
believe it.
True, they weren't
can't
a
believe
great
this.
organization when I played for them. So
yeah. You know better than anybody.
They definitely messed up on picking some talent. They did get Saquon right, but
They did.
they messed everything else up.
Then they lost Saquon.
They got Odell right. They messed that up too, though.
Yep.
And all I can say is, like, we do a weekly year-round draft pod. We were talking about Jackson Dart and Trey Harris in the first month of the season. And then we stopped talking about them because once the SEC calendar happened and they weren't dealing with the lightest, like, non-conference schedule of any top 25 team, he faltered tremendously. And he comes from that weird Lane Kiffin offense where, like, on one side of the field, the wide receivers aren't even running routes. You know, it's like that Art Briles Baylor
You know what this
offense.
kid has? You know what this kid has though? He has what Dayball likes. What Dayball liked in Josh Allen.
That's
Just
right.
crazy arm talent, decent athleticism.
Yep.
That's what
I
Dayball
don't
sees.
think the arm talent is that crazy though. Like to put him in the same conversation as Josh Allen.
That's true. Very few people
Well,
in
I
the
mean,
Josh Allen conversation.
He's getting picked at 25. What, 25? 25?
Yeah, it's different.
Picked at
It's
25.
He's got a good arm.
I mean, that was a monster throw.
I'm
right
telling
there.
you, man.
Yep.
All of these teams are going to regret not picking Shedeur Sanders.
I think so too. I looked up the third and long conversions from these guys. He was 48% on third and longs with one touchdown, 2 interceptions, and only 207 yards.
What was
48%
Shedeur?
on third down.
Third and long.
What was Shedeur?
Shedeur
48%
was
is bad.
64%, 75% and 23 for 540 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Follow Dre on Twitter.
Different conference.
True.
Definitely.
Different level of play.
I like what Dre brought up though about the beginning of the year because we got our guy Tyler in the office, Ole Miss fan, who tipped me off early. I think it was after the first game. They beat Furman 76-0. Jackson Dart throws for 418, 5 touchdowns, and we just start betting the first half over for Ole Miss every week because there's torching teams. The next week he completes 92% of his passes, 377 yards against Middle Tennessee State, 377 again the next week, wins 40-6 against Wake Forest. At that point, they've scored over 200 points and they've given up 9. Next week, Georgia Southern, 382, 4 touchdowns. And it's not that the numbers were bad in the SEC. It's just that, like, what sells you is those, and then you get to the end against Duke in the Gator Bowl, 52-20, 400 yards. And Duke's not nobody, but there are a couple games, 5-15 against Arkansas, you give them that. 3-11 Oklahoma. The
Jackson
production was not the same in the SEC.
5-15 in a game is
Totally.
is crazy.
It is
That's
crazy.
crazy.
That's crazy.
I wonder what Shedeur's
He
best
reminds
is.
me a lot of Drew Lock.
He reminds
who
me a lot
also
of
lit
every
up
Ole
the
Miss
SEC.
quarterback.
What? Best what?
Best Shedeur passing yards in the game number.
Like 450.
Okay.
That's crazy too.
It is also crazy. And it's not that he's a bad
I
quarterback.
think Shedeur's actually going to end up going. This will be a better situation for Shedeur sliding.
What if he slides all the way to the top of the
Go to
second,
last season.
and then you hit those bad
TCU,
teams
I think
again?
You're going to find somebody that really values you, and
Yep.
Oh, Shedeur
No
had
pressure.
5'10" against TCU.
What did we say? We said
5:15.
5:15.
that's both of them are.
Against
By the way,
Arkansas.
Yeah, I mean,
Shedeur putting up 5'10"
That's
against
guys are.
TCU came on the heels of everyone wondering whether or not he could play at Power 5 level. That's his first ever game at the Power 5 level. Throws
against
5'10"
the
and 4 tuds.
national finalists from the year prior.
True.
Yep.
So Falcons, you would think this is Shador, right? You
No.
trade up?
No.
No,
Really?
but
No,
you
they have
traded for
Penix,
Penix
bro.
last year.
Sorry about
They
that.
can, yeah.
Sorry, but I was just thinking trade up.
Who
I
did
didn't
they
even think of
draft
context.
earlier? Shamar Stewart? Was that the... No, Jalen Walker. The dog
This is
becomes
going
a
to be a
red
skill
bird.
player. This is going to be an offensive skill player.
I think you will be surprised.
Hopefully not
But
trade
you'll
on
like the pick.
Henderson.
How's that for a tease?
Ah.
Yeah. That's a great pick.
My personal number 1 edge in the draft.
Yeah.
Great call. You know ball, bro.
That is a ball-knowing move.
Is that 2 edges that they selected?
Pretty much, though Jalen Walker may be more of a strong side linebacker than a pure edge, you know?
Okay.
Was kind of moonlighting in both areas this season. I think Spencer's got some raffle winners he wants us to announce.
Oh, we get to announce those? Okay. Okay.
Go ahead, Ryan.
What am I doing here?
You're picking raffle winners.
Am I reading them off myself?
Yes.
Can people actually hear me, though? All right.
Oh, you'll hold it up.
All right, the first winner of our Raisin Cane's gift basket is 533404. 533404. Who has that raffle ticket? Who's got it? Going once. 533404 going twice. And you're out. All right. New life for everyone. 533397. 397, we've got a winner. Look at that sweet Raisin Cane's gift pack. Spence, how many more raffles do we have here? We got 6 more raffles. We got to move quick. All right, next winner. 533387. We're making them flinch. Who let the guy with the Chiefs jersey in here? All right, going once, going twice. 533387. You're out. 533403. Hey, there we go. Nice DNVR Broncos crew neck there for the good man. Next up, 533. I think they all start with that. 375. Got it? Come on down. Another sweet Raisin Cane's gift pack here. You'll never believe it. This next one starts with 533 385. 533 385 going once. Going twice. Gone. Next up, 533 355. Got him. We got him. What is this? Ooh, look at this. Well, Broncos baseball jersey. Best baseball team in town. All right. We've got a few more here. Everyone's still alive. 533379. There he is. Do your chain hang low. At 3 more?
Yeah, 3 more.
3 more. 533395. 395 going once. Got it. 395. DNVR Broncos shirt for you. Enjoy. 5-3-3-3-4-8. A Raisin Cane's blanket, is that what that is? Wow. Imagine just a blanket of chicken fingers. So warm. 3-4-8 going once. Going twice. Out.
I thought it was double-sided.
5-3-3-3-4-6. 3-4-6 going once. I'm not even going anymore. 5-3-3-4-1-4. Some commotion. We got a winner. Wrap yourself in a warm blanket of chicken fingers, Texas toast, and cane sauce. Our last one. What is this, Spencer?
Cornhole. I think it's a flying like a fucking frisbee game.
All right, for a fun game with frisbees. 5-3-3-4-0-9. Whoever won is hype. All right. Should we raffle off Spencer's laptop?
Oh.
For Spencer's laptop.
You don't want that.
All right. Let's someone catch me up on the draft. Let's get all the microphones back alive.
James Pierce Jr., your favorite, was drafted by the Dirty Birds.
Yes.
The Dirty Birds double up on SEC edges with Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. And now the Ravens at 27 are about to select Georgia safety
Malachi Starks.
That's exactly right. And I've got one last ad read to do for us. Cue me up because it's time to choose chill. That's right, you guys. It's time to choose chill. Did he do it? There it is. There he is. It's time to choose chill and choose Coors Light. You know the beer. Ryan showed up and we all got nice Coors Light, drinking it cold and refreshing straight out the tap. Yep. You can also get yourself a nice silver bullet. Mountains turn blue. You know we love it. It's Colorado through and through, cold, filtered like the Rockies, delish. And when the Nuggets are stressing me out, when the draft doesn't quite go my way, I choose chill. I find a cool mindset, and I enjoy myself a nice, delicious Coors Light. Goes down so perfectly. Make the most of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Henry, tomorrow's going to be really exciting.
Oh, boy, it is. And we are going to be doing this all over again.
Yep. And
then on Saturday,
it's going to be skill
all
position
over again.
city, and maybe Saturday will be skill position city.
I think that's what you're seeing, because
day 2, day 3, that's where you really build the team. That's where you build your surrounding cast, your supporting cast for Bo Nix.
Totally.
With the running back, with the receivers.
That's Marvin Mims. That's Cortland Sutton. That's Quinn Meinerds. That's others.
In previous Sean Payton drafts, that's Michael Thomas. That's Alvin Kamara.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, those types of players. That type of skill. Those types of skill players. Traquan Smith.
Yeah, that's where Sean's really found the bulk of his skill players is in that day 2, is those second and third round picks.
Devon Bailey,
gone
Troy
a long
Franklin.
way for him. Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
Even day 3. So it's going to make for an exciting draft. This felt like a responsible pick, eat your vegetables, drink your water type of pick. And tomorrow we get to drink our beers and spirits. Or, eat our candy. Tomorrow's where we get to have fun. So
true.
Tomorrow's where we get your popcorn. Tomorrow we get somebody that's going to put a lot of butts in the seats.
And we're down to the last 4 picks of the draft.
Who am I calling?
Yeah.
Travion Henderson, trade up.
Ooh. I like it.
Trade up to get him.
Trade Vion Henderson.
It all adds up.
Well done. Well done. Be interesting to see if the Chiefs go after him here at the end of the first. They obviously need O-line badly.
They've not fared well on the late first round running back.
Yeah, I mean,
true.
It's not been great.
He'd be a nice fit there.
The Nuggets are in the ultimate danger zone.
Just keeps getting more dangerous.
Yeah, I don't like this at all. I honestly...
Turn it back off?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think we're fine. The Nuggets have come back from 15-point deficits against the Clippers like 5 times.
True.
Yeah,
and
no
they've
doubt.
come back from down 3-1.
That is also true.
I'm just saying they were doing better when we didn't have them in front of us, you know?
Yeah. I'd like to watch.
Yeah, fair enough. LB3 also still available. I should go to our Broncos top 100, Henry, and see who we have that's still left.
Who would
on
be the
there.
top of our board?
Travion Henderson. What wide receivers left? Anyone? LB3.
Luther.
LB3.
Yep.
Golden did go to the Packers. You saw
Yep.
that.
He did.
And then he put on a show for like the 100,000 people that were there in Wisconsin.
Will Johnson would be the highest on our board with Luther Burden the third. No, I'm sorry. Travion Henderson highest on our board. Will Johnson second. Luther Burden the third. Then Jihad Campbell. Then Quinshon Judkins. Then Siobhan Ravel. I doubt they go double corner. 2 big run-stopping nose tackles in Tyleek Williams and Deion Walker, who we had ranked higher than Kenneth Grant, by the way. Trey Harris, the big wide receiver out of Ole Miss, the
Landon Jackson.
Jackson Dart's primary target. Nick Anuwari, you just want to go crazy on secondary.
There's only so many roster spots.
It's true. Mason Taylor, Elijah Arroyo. You
Yep.
start to get into the receiving tight ends. O-lineman Donovan Jackson, edge rusher Princely Onimanen, JT Tuamalu, Nick Scrutman, and Brashard Smith, Bashal Tootin, Savion Williams, Caleb Johnson, Torrey Horton round out our top 50 right there.
Torrey Horton.
So you've got some options. But, you know, we shall see.
What's going on with the Nugs right now?
They're just struggling. It's fine.
Yeah.
Things are not
So you think they're going to bag this game and just try to get it for game 4, or you think they're going to come back?
No, they're going to win.
Oh,
I'm going to get in on the halftime money line.
okay. I'm down. Watching
And
anyway.
one.
I almost lost that. Odds will be good.
Especially after this stop right here.
Yeah.
Big stop. Norman Powell.
We need the shot of all the Clippers' wives and girlfriends laughing at the Nuggets like they did in the bubble.
that was
Oh,
epic.
that's
That was
right.
the best.
Lions are going to take Will Johnson, I bet.
You think the Buff stream is still going, Ryan? And what are the vibes over there, do you think, right now?
I mean, the vibes would be, you're kind of seeing if someone's going to trade back into the first round here. The Browns certainly have the ammunition to do it.
They do. They do.
They do.
But
And
at this point, I don't know.
I mean, there's still, 3 picks left? 29, 30, 31, 32? 4 picks left?
4 picks left, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea what's going to happen at this point. But
Yep, I'm pretty surprised.
someone's going to change the direction of their franchise.
I think
Shador?
the NFL's gone against their better judgment on a few of
Who
these
needs
picks.
a quarterback right now? Cleveland.
New York
Cleveland
still
for
needs
sure.
a quarterback.
The Jets. I mean, I would
Jets.
argue the Jets.
Yep.
The Saints, I would argue, still could use.
Yep, Saints.
The 49ers.
See, I told you, Benny. I told you.
49ers don't need a quarterback.
Yeah,
Got
they do. They need a quarterback desperately. The second that they pay Brock Purdy all that money, their window's over.
The Rams. Could the Rams utilize a quarterback?
Yes.
Stafford signed a what? A 3-year deal? 2-year deal?
Sounds right. You're
yeah.
a contract guy, Henry.
Computer's dead.
Ah, shoot.
Yep.
Dolphins, a little Tua insurance.
For sure.
Yep.
Dolphins need one for sure.
You're not a Tua guy. I didn't know that
Steelers.
about you until today.
No. Well, I mean, you just Tua. You just what you
Who'd the
got right
Lions
there. They
take?
have that's their ceiling right there. They'll
Oh,
get to
the
the
Lions
they'll get to the
took
playoffs.
Tyleek
They'll have to
Williams.
play somewhere cold and they'll lose.
Yep.
The Lions took Ohio State defensive tackle Tyleek Williams, who I thought really balled out in the college football playoffs, much like Travion Henderson, much like Cody Simon, their linebacker. These guys really stood out. So interesting. I mean, the Lions kind of majoring in responsible drafts so far.
Yeah.
They get it right. They do the responsible picks, and maybe in a parallel universe, the chat on their shows isn't super hyped on these picks, but
Probably.
then, a couple months later,
Washington's going for a running back, I feel like.
So
Who can you surround
Travion
Jake
Henderson
with?
to
Yeah,
go with.
Ooh.
Because they still have Eckler, right?
Yep, they got
So you
Eckler,
give
but
him a
he's-
year behind Eckler?
Yeah,
And then
he's
ask him to do the same
older.
thing?
Yep.
B-Rob, Brian
Yeah,
Robinson.
that's right.
quick quote
Got
here
shot.
from Jahdae Barron, on what he adds to the defense, and I love this because it tells me that he has studied up on the Broncos. He said, I bring a lot of versatility to the defense. I'm going to play my role. I'm going to master my position, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to learn from the vets. I can't wait to learn from Pat Surtain. I can't wait to learn from Vance Joseph. It's going to be amazing. It's literally going to be amazing. I'm just going to embrace the opportunity, and I'm going to live up to the opportunity. I'm truly blessed to be in this position, and I'm very thankful right now.
I'd love to hear things like that. Humble kid, somebody who's coming in here ready to go.
Yeah.
They've probably something that they talked to him on the phone about, and it's exciting. That's exciting. And the fact that he wants to come in here with a growth mindset, to learn, to be a plug-and-play guy, and to add value right away.
What do you need from him over the course of his career to look back on this and say that was a good pick?
It's hard to put a number on that
True.
for a defensive player. To me, it's the Broncos win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, there won't be any complaints from me if they win a Super Bowl. If he's on the team and they win one, I'll be happy.
Yep.
But yeah,
What
like,
else am I going to say? Like an
A Pro
all
Bowl or two?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
2 Pro Bowls, probably you look back and say good.
I'll say this. If the Broncos have the best defense in the NFL one of the years that he's here, then that was probably a great pick.
I also think the expectations are that he's going to be a top 5 type nickel defender in this league, right?
Yeah.
Like, those are the expectations. And if not that he's shown the versatility to be very competent on the outside or very competent at safety as a game-changing DB.
But real quick, another quote here. On his familiarity with PS2, what I've learned and what I watch from him, people think, yes, he has a God-gifted ability, but you can tell he works tremendously hard in his craft, on his details. From him being able to play in the slot and play man to go outside and just being able to move around. It's not just a gift he had from God, but he's actually working on it. He's actually dedicated to what he's putting in. He knows if he puts in, the reward is bigger. It just showed this past season for him, and I know he's going to continue to stack. I just want to learn from him. I just want to be a part of the defense that he has and keep learning and keep growing. I'll soak it all in, and then I can master my craft, and we can go from there. I'll be a big piece, and I know I'm going to be a tremendous addition to that defense today.
When you talk about culture fit, and you want to talk about somebody coming in here to embrace his role and to learn, that's exactly what you want. And I think if we're looking at this a win-win situation now, by the time it's up for his second contract, we're not necessarily looking at Pro Bowls, but we're looking at the physicality that he's going to bring, a couple picks, a couple fumbles, him blitzing off of the slot, him bringing that level of physicality that we talked about. We talked about Akeem Talib at the beginning of the show in terms of just that dog mentality, and I think that this kid will bring that dog mentality to this defense based off of the highlights that we've already seen. Obviously, we'll dive into the tape, but solid pick.
Yeah, it sounds like he's really an adult in the room, you know? It's someone who you're not going to have to worry about some boom or bust player. How do we figure this out? He's going to fit right in and be a quality player, and I wonder what this means for Jaquan, you know?
Coming off the bench. I think,
What's this mean for PJ?
yeah.
Like, do you start maybe trading one of those guys?
Great special teams players now.
Yeah.
For you.
Right.
These are people now who you could put on special teams and create a dynamic, special teams unit with Coach Riz.
So
Well,
crazy
and
part
you
now.
could potentially use one of those guys as a piece to trade up tomorrow if you want to get up to the top of the second round.
The craziest part to me is that, so safety room first. Ufunga, Brandon Jones, those are your starters. PJ Locke, next up off the bench. You also signed Sam Franklin, who started games for the Panthers at safety, more of that special teams type, but, special teams captain caliber special teams player. So you got those 4. And then that's where you get to Skinner and the young guys who you kind of like. At corner, you obviously have the starters. Now you have Jaquan coming off the bench.
Yeah.
And Jaquan, part of the appeal is like, hey, maybe he can play some safety. But that isn't quite so necessary at this point. We liked what we saw from Chris Abrams-Drain. There's your number 5. This is really, really deep, which is good. But it also gives you some questions where you say, like, okay, what is the long-term plan? Like you said for Jaquan, is it maybe Barron moves outside, maybe Barron moves to safety, or maybe Brandon Jones walks because we think Jaquan can play that spot? The puzzle, you're in a much better spot with that secondary, which is awesome. The puzzle is a little bit more complicated now, especially when you look a couple of years out. Because maybe Barron's your start. Maybe Barron starts at safety and rotates into the box. We go nickel in 3 years because you say, oh, Ufunga, we can let you walk, or we can let Brandon Jones walk. It's tough to predict at this point.
I'm curious. I'm curious to see what Sean Payton and those guys are going to say.
Yeah, me too, 100%. And I'll be interested to see how he's really utilized.
Totally.
You know. But yeah, the depth in your secondary now is pretty impressive.
Very deep.
You can match up with a lot of teams with that. My draft crush just went off, so
He did.
Jaden Daniels will be one of the offensive tackles protecting him. Will be Bo Nix's former left tackle at Oregon.
Wow, look at this guy.
You just keep waiting for him to
He's
get
awesome.
yeah.
Wow. All right, what is that, Josh Connerly?
Yep.
Damn straight. You know ball.
Some
Okay,
have
two
said-
more picks. 2 more picks. No, 3. I'm sorry. 3 more picks. 3 more picks.
I did think he was going to sit him down. I thought that guy was going to be on his ass.
Does anyone here jump in for Shador?
You'd think so.
The team that I would see most likely to trade back would be Philly.
I love how casually Josh Connerly Jr. is dressed, and there's just kids in shorts and tank tops hanging out. That's how you should have a draft
Yeah.
room, you know? That's how it's done right there.
That's a good party.
Yeah, no doubt. What a badass. That's awesome.
What are the odds the Broncos have a running back, draft a running back at some point tomorrow? 80%?
95?
Even more?
100%.
I would say it's
Yeah.
100% they draft a running back or a wide receiver.
Okay. What are we feeling about tight end?
Why are we feeling receiver drafting on day 2, day 3 when Sean said they feel good about the receiver room?
He was lying.
Well, there you go. You wanted the answer, you got it.
You don't think you think he was lying about that the whole time? Hey guys, not going to sign any free agents.
Pretty simple.
I don't believe him.
He likes A.T. Perry as much as the fans do.
No.
It is A.T. Perry time. Like, I don't know if you checked your watch,
Yep.
Ryan,
Oh.
but mine says A.T. Perry o'clock. I
A.T.
don't know
Perry
about
clock
you.
right there.
9:25, 18.
Ah, damn.
Perry.
Damn. That's a shame. So many great running backs, though. I mean, this is such an outstanding class. I've said it many times. There's like last year's class, the top running back taken was Jonathan Brooks to the Panthers, the former Texas running back. And I think he would have struggled to crack the top 10 running backs in this year's class. So, you know, the 10th running back this year could be as good as the number 1 running back most seasons. So I think that's also what we need to consider and figure out here.
From the Giants, just announced by Brian Dable, Russ will be our starter.
Imagine being a Giants fan right now.
Russ will be your starter for like 3 weeks.
Yep.
To that.
You don't have a starter. And you won't for a long time.
Yeah, they almost have to consider
Is
just
this
not even
because
having a
Shador?
quarterback.
Is this because Shador played for your school, or is this because you really believe he's that good?
Well, it's both, because the reason I know so much about Shador is because he played for my school, and I got to know him personally and see
watch
the way that
every
he
game,
works
right?
and watch every game that he plays.
Well, everybody works hard.
No, I've been watching
at the QB position.
I've been watching college quarterbacks for a long time. No one even comes close.
To hard work.
Yeah,
What?
at Colorado. I'm just talking about the guys that I was
you're talking about
talking
at CU.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't speak. That's the only one I can speak to.
Yeah.
What
I'm
about
not
Cepho?
on campus. Cepho was one of a kind in terms of his toughness, but I've never seen someone work on their craft as much as Shador. Not even close.
Okay.
I do think in all the character talk and, oh, he comes off as this, he comes off as that, tough as nails, works his butt off when he certainly doesn't. You know, I mean, he's got
People who talk about him being
than
people who talk about him being insecure, or people who talk about his character are insecure.
Yes.
I agree completely. The other thing I don't think many people know, but thanks to Ryan, I do. He's stone cold sober.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
This guy was the most famous or second most famous person in Boulder, Colorado for 2 years.
The
and
most
stayed,
famous.
So, well, his dad is also a wrestler.
Okay, yeah.
And was stone cold sober. He's dating a Hollywood actress, stone cold sober.
Wait, he is?
He was for a minute.
Was, right?
What happened?
I don't know, man. I just
Doesn't
think,
matter. Who was it?
I
I'll
think-
Google later.
I think there's a little bit of fear here from a coach, like a coaching staff, of what's Coach Prime gonna do. You know,
Eagles-
like is Coach Prime gonna get us fired after 1 year if we have Shador Sanders as our quarterback and we don't win?
Also, like, it's popular to hate on the Sanders family, so I think, like, the scrutiny Shador is going to be under is going to be greater than most quarterbacks, which is
But
already
no one's
pretty
ever been
big.
more well equipped to handle that.
I agree.
Eagles trade up, now on the clock at 31.
Maybe Payton and Eli,
What?
they're equipped to handle it.
They never had to deal with it like Shador.
Payton
But
is the
I
number
think-
one player in the
Yeah.
country.
I think Peyton
But
and
he
Eli
didn't-
is a great comp.
No
Like,
one,
I think
no one
they're,
wanted him to fail like that. It's not even
We'd
close.
have to go back and see. Like, I don't think people want to see Shador actually fail that bad.
Also a different
bro.
world.
If you lived in my world, you would know that people want him to fail more than they want their own selves to succeed.
Maxwell Harris.
Speedy. Interesting.
A little light. So
You just would have thought you would have wanted somebody a little bigger.
the top cornerbacks taken in this class are Travis Hunter, of course, Jahdae Barron, and Maxwell Harrison.
Where's
Yes.
Maxwell Harrison from?
Kentucky.
Yeah.
No, where did he? Do we know where he's from?
I could
originally?
check.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. No Will Johnson, no Siobhan Ravel, no Trey Amos,
Will
Benjamin
Johnson's
Morrison.
injury report must be really bad.
It must
Yes, yes. And credit to our guy Jake Schwanitz, who when we broke down the DBs
be. Yep.
on what was that
Kansas City
Tuesday's draft pod episode, he had him ranked lower because of the injuries. He did
Kansas
his
City
research.
trades pick to Philly.
A
So-
fifth round pick to move up one spot.
Eagles and Chiefs swap positions. I'm assuming I don't even know. Who would the Eagles want that they need to jump the Chiefs for?
West Bloomfield, Michigan.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
See?
I saw somebody that was from Michigan State, Curtis Blackwell, on in the green rooms. I was like,
Okay.
I wonder where he's from. He's got to be
Yeah.
from Michigan.
So
Down to the last two picks, and the
the
Eagles
Eagles
moved up for
traded
this
up
one.
over the Chiefs. No, they traded
They
with the Chiefs.
swapped
Traded a
picks
fifth-round
with
pick.
the Chiefs, giving up a fifth rounder to do the swap.
So the Chiefs are going to trade to somebody else. Now, the really fun thing here would be Jalen Milroe as a backup to Jalen Hurts.
No
Double
way,
up.
bro.
No, I'm not saying the smart thing or the thing that's going to happen.
He's
I'm saying the really fun thing. The fun thing.
Don't piss Ryan off. He wants Shador to be the next quarterback.
He would- I
No,
didn't
I-
even think of that when I said it.
It doesn't matter where Shador goes. He's going to ball.
Yes.
I put my name on it. I actually would say that I've
I'm
never been
with
more
Ryan, by the
confident
way.
about an NFL prospect.
I feel
Never.
At the quarterback position.
Never.
The quarterback position is all about fit. So if he goes to the right fit, gets the right offensive coordinator, which I'd like to see him go to New Orleans, just because I want him to go to somewhere where he has they're not going to fire the coach the next year.
Browns have the top pick in the second round.
They're going to fire Stefanski.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Hasn't
they
he
are.
won
That might be
two
where he
coaches
goes.
of the year in like 4 years?
Stefanski?
Yes.
That's how that goes. So did Michael Malone. He only had
No,
the
he
one.
never won one.
Did
Yeah.
he not get one?
No. That was George
Wow.
Carl who won one and then got fired immediately.
There was that example.
I can't get no
sorry,
respect,
sorry.
You know. Now, if the Eagles moved up, typically they take Georgia players. Who's the highest ranked Georgia player?
That is true.
Tate Ratledge, the guard.
Oh, that
This
re-
ha- t- in
perfect
my
replacement
opinion-
for Mekhi Becton.
In my opinion, if they wanted to get above the Chiefs, it has to be.
Balnor.
Yeah.
I don't know. Never mind. I just keep saying offensive weapon, but it doesn't happen. So
Well, and also they're pretty good on offensive weapons.
They
Goddard,
have some
Saquon. Slim Reaper.
Oh, I know who it is.
Tell us.
Jahdae Campbell.
Ooh.
Dang.
So who did they lose at that
Bama.
position?
Not Georgia.
Did they lose a linebacker?
No, they kept Zach
They
Bond.
kept Zach Bond. They paid him. I mean, he also fits like he could be Nolan Smith insurance.
could be.
You know, like he's a lighter guy who could play some edge rusher
Yep.
for you. Another guy who got a sack on Will Campbell, by the way. So, yeah, Jahdae Campbell has that going.
Short little arms.
I
Will
know.
Campbell.
Poor
Feels like
guy.
hours ago. Talked about Will Campbell's arms.
It was hours ago.
I guess it all adds up.
We were so innocent. We knew so little back then. Gosh, Maxwell Harrison's energy juxtaposed with the Nuggets game is
Yeah. Also juxtaposed with Jackson Dart. That was insane.
counterintuitive vibes.
Jackson Dart was so upset to be drafted there.
He probably hates New York, you know?
Yeah.
Big Apple.
Who doesn't?
Right. I mean, also, like, if you had to live in Jersey, could you imagine?
Yeah. Plus, he's from the South.
Right,
I imagine them as not being huge New York fans.
right. Or
Is he initially
Garden
from there?
Staters. Yeah,
Because
check
he
it
was
out,
also
check it out.
USC.
Yes, yes.
That was back in my day.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. Back in Hank's day.
Oh, he's from Utah.
Ryan, where's Shador going?
I'm guessing Cleveland at number 33.
Yeah, it makes
You
so
feel
much
good about
sense
him
at
there.
this point.
No one would ever feel good about anyone going to Cleveland.
Yep.
Well,
But-
you just said you
but-
ball out.
He will.
I do think
and if there's anyone that's been like prepared to take on a challenge like that, it's Shador Sanders, who turned around Jackson State, came to Colorado, turned around Colorado. He knows what it takes to do a turnaround of an entire team. and
Prime's there in
culture.
2 years.
No.
I do
He'll be
think
at Colorado till death.
Stefanski's offense could be a nice
Just signed a
fit.
5-year extension.
Could be a really
Prime.
nice fit.
Yeah.
So in 2
You
years.
bought out of that.
Yeah.
Benny's really trying to hurt you right now.
He really is.
He's really
2 more years is
trying
cool
to
with me.
create some.
So second round tomorrow. You got the Browns first, quarterback possibly.
Nice, nice.
Texans, no quarterback. Titans drafted their quarterback. Browns again, and then the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
Browns are, I would say,
He's going to that
Titans-
page right there.
The
He'll get
Titans
drafted
still
there.
have a chance to get the best quarterback in the
Go
draft.
Jamal.
wow, what a steal at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
They do
Again,
a Kirk Cousins, Robert Griffin III.
Yeah, let them battle it out. Let's see who wins.
Tomorrow, I'm looking forward to more Jahdae Barron breakdowns on our show, Hank.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, no, we've got
Are you guys watching the whole draft live tomorrow?
Yep.
and Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah. Saturday, we might cut it short.
That's fine.
Before the 7th round.
Sure.
But yes. We'll watch the first 6 rounds live.
Wow.
Yeah, tonight I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna pick out 3 Jahdae Barron games to watch. Go through those, cut them up, get the film room up by tomorrow morning.
There you go.
What are you going to watch them on?
Stay tuned.
Yeah, there are shady websites. Shady websites.
Oh, come on.
Not all shady. Some of them pretty shady.
YouTube.com.
Have you been
That's
liking
not
the
a
Yeah,
Pro
shady
YouTube.
app.
Have you looking at the Pro Football Focus? Have you been
Yeah, I've been
diving
really
into it? It's
messing around
crazy.
with that. It really
It's
is crazy. Well, because there's like, you can filter by like schools or like hometown. It's just like, if you just want to see every receiver run a route from the University of Miami, because you're like, oh, we got Cam Ward. Let's see if there's anybody there we like. You can just do that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. No, tonight I have a feeling I'll be going over to NFL-video.net.
Wow.
Shout out to you guys.
From our guy James Palmer, he says this might be obvious, but the Broncos never thought Jahdae Barron would be there at 20. Never. Had to pick him. They loved his game.
That's what you
Wow.
say. Doesn't mean they're lying, but that is what you say.
Sure.
I mean, everybody's saying that they consider him the best corner in the draft.
Yeah.
Well, if Will Johnson becomes, I mean, obviously Travis Hunter is in his world of his own.
Yeah.
If Will Johnson is being considered almost undraftable at this point, then the next person would be Jahdae Barron.
Yeah.
I mean, not named Travis Hunter. He is the first cornerback off the board. You usually don't see that by pick 20.
True.
Usually the first corner goes quite a bit higher than the 20th pick right there. Why are the Eagles milking this pick Get it done.
Yeah, you traded for it.
Jeez.
So let's see. I still need a third running back,
Okay.
or
Come on, third running back.
or not a quarterback. I need under 2.5. Or our Big 12 player. We need our fourth Big 12 player. Also have Carson Schweschinger on this last pick.
Wait,
I'm not
fourth
feeling good
Big
about
12 player. I think we're screwed because we assumed both CU guys were gone.
That's right. I made that assumption. We're cooked.
We're done.
We're cooked.
We're cooked, bro.
2 Big 12 players?
Ah, yeah.
T-Mac and yikes.
Crazy. Conference of Champions, you know?
No one else went, huh?
No. No, the plan was Shador and hope something crazy happens.
Now, as
and
far-
take the 4-1 odds.
If you instead were to say former Big 12 or Big 8 schools,
There you go.
Yeah, then
that
you get
is
Texas.
1, 2.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oklahoma
really? Not
sucks
a ton.
now. Yeah, Oklahoma sucks. That kind of kills that.
5. Yeah, 5. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, and I think
Jokic doesn't have it right now.
Yep.
over 9.5 Big Ten players already hit.
Wow. Wow, the Big Ten.
Yep. Some good football over there, I've heard.
Yeah.
Best football.
Best, better than the SEC.
Yeah, we're tougher than the SEC. We make better pros.
Interesting.
More national champions as of late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
SEC sucked this year. Zach owes me a pizza because of it.
Yeah.
What was the
got it
pizza
yet?
bet?
Going into the CFP, he had the SEC to win it, and I had the field. Which absolute lock. They did. SEC did get one in the Final Four. You gotta give them credit for that. But I thought they were going to be out by then.
Who was the Final Four SEC team?
Texas.
And they should have lost to Arizona State.
Yep. But they couldn't get past Jahdae Barron and his 11 tackles.
All right.
And Matthew Golden,
final
honestly.
pick.
And Matthew Golden. Yeah.
Final pick. Worst
Chiefs are
case.
in.
So, give me your big draft takeaway. Your overarching big draft, big picture outlook after the first 31 picks.
Smart pick, reasonable pick that you're going to benefit from for a while. Not super splashy, though. You know,
Yeah.
it's a real meat and potatoes. You never go wrong. Who was I listening to? Somebody made a good point nationally saying good teams, you take a cornerback in the first round once every 3 years and just keep going through because that's the modern NFL. You need those guys. And so if you don't have much going on, as much as we talk about get a defensive lineman, get an offensive lineman, hey, that's a premium position. You added one. He's a starter probably right away. Good meat and potatoes. Just not as flashy as we would have liked.
Yep.
I was here open for
For sure.
Jeanty.
Off of that, it was a responsible draft. It was a responsible draft for a lot of teams. You know, we're seeing the Cowboys taking guards, and everyone's really taking care of the trenches and kind of going with safer picks instead of maybe swinging for the fences and getting crazy. And the Broncos fell right in line and take the top cornerback, not named Travis Hunter, right off the bat at pick 20 and get responsible with it. Take someone who's versatile, who has lots of outcomes to be a starter and not just penciled into it only works out if he does X.
True.
That's kind of my big draft, big picture takeaway right now.
I'm going to say my big draft takeaway is that the Broncos were true to their word. They took the best player available on the board for them.
Wow.
And I think that it's a luxury to be able to do that. Everyone talks about doing it, but you have to be in a real position as a team and really trust what you already have to do something like that. And I think that once Jahdae Barron stands on the field for the Denver Broncos and starts making plays, he's going to be an almost instant fan favorite when they see the way that he plays. I mean, the word dog gets thrown around a lot in football, but for his position, he is a true dog. And the Broncos got a bunch of those guys this offseason. You know, Talanoa Hufanga is a dog. Dre Greenlaw is a dog.
Yes.
And Jahdae Barron is a dog. And when you go out there on Sundays and see the way that this defense plays and the toughness and the way that they fly around and the way that they hit people and the way that they make the other team wish they weren't on that field with them, it's going to really fire people up.
I 1,000% agree with you, Ryan, that they made a great solid pick, and it is a luxury to be able to pick like that because now we have our quarterback.
Yeah.
We have been building the right type of roster since Sean Payton has gotten here. George Payton has done an incredible job in terms of scouting and adding talent to this team. And when you add a player like that on the defensive side of the ball, to me, that's a weapon to give Bo Nix the ball.
Yeah.
You know, how can we find more ways to get more possessions in the hands of Bo Nix and our offense? Well, you have to stop the other team, and I think that's what that pick did.
Yeah, and it's really fun to sit here and say, like, we won the draft. Like, we won it. Like, look at the party we're having tonight on draft night. It'd be so much fun if you had somebody who you're looking at saying, like, hey, you're going to see, you go to a Bronco game, you're going to see 5,000 Tedero McMillan jerseys because we just got that guy. The goal isn't to win the draft, though. The goal is to win during the season, and sometimes that means that you make the smart, reasonable investment that's going to pay off in the long term. And I think that's what the Broncos did.
And we have our last pick, Josh Simmons, the former San Diego State Aztec. There he is, who was left tackle for Ohio State last season until going down about mid-year against Oregon. He makes his way into the first round.
Damn.
Good for him. I think our over on O-lineman drafted hit. While Benny enjoys some of these highlights that they're playing on the draft broadcast.
Yep.
Yeah, this guy's a prototypical. In fact, it's a patella tendon that kept him out.
Okay.
So that, that's a
Full tear?
Yeah.
Ooh.
So that's what scares you because on upside on the tape, this kid's a top 15 prospect, right?
100%.
So the Chiefs are taking that injury gamble. We'll see if it works out for them. Chargers, Raiders go running back. Chiefs, Broncos, corner and O-line.
Shador
Bit
first
more
pick of the second
responsible.
round?
We'll see. I think so, but I think that 5 years from now we'll be asking how the hell did Shador not go in the first round, and there won't be any good answers.
I agree completely.
Well, I mean, the draft is a whole bunch of different investments. You know, it's no different than venture capital.
Yep.
You're looking to see, you're betting on these founders, you're betting on different things right now. Do you really want to bet on Shador? I think you really do.
I do.
And you have a lot of conviction around it. A lot of these teams, if they're split in that building, they're not going to pick that player. Mm-hmm. So that's where it becomes tough. It could be that you had half the Giants like, yeah, let's take Shador. Definitely over Jackson Dart. And then, you just have split consensus, and then they go out, and then they have these private workouts, which I don't like at all because throwing the ball in shorts doesn't mean anything.
You're saying football's not played in shorts? No.
They're kind of shorts.
But I think
Shorts with
Shador,
some pads, tight shorts.
I think Shador will handle this right. I think this will actually fuel his fire even more.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he was already going to be focused walking into a building.
Yeah, this might be
But
perfect for him.
I think this is going to be even another level of notch of intensity for him.
Well,
Speaking of investments, 19.2 units in bets. Finished up 0.17 units.
That's just
after
winning.
all that.
Okay,
Yep. Do the
good.
math. That's what, a 1% growth? Little less? Yeah.
Coach Prime
That's
expected.
about what I got when the Broncos drafted Jahdae Barron. 1% growth.
Well, congrats. I hope it continues
Wow.
forward.
But that's better than nothing.
It is better than
Oh,
nothing.
boy.
It is better than nothing.
Coach Prime for a long time has said he thinks his guys would be picks 1 and 2. There's a chance that they are 1 and 2, just one is one of the second. Okay, that's
Yeah. He meant rounds 1 and 2.
Ryan hated that.
He did.
It's just the stupidest pun he would have loved. Instead, that he really took offense to.
Yeah, it's just not
And
his
I love
fault
that.
how dumb some of these NFL teams
Right,
are.
right.
All of
Well,
them.
most
Some would
of
say.
them are,
Yeah,
though.
totally.
That's not,
No, yeah.
Yeah, no, they're
It's true.
stupid. All right, they're stupid.
Yep.
And they're
Okay.
actually going to get away with it. The Browns, at least.
Yeah. Boys, this has been lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this
the
is fun. I'm
Nuggets
glad I got a
game-
chance to spend some time
Cool.
with you guys.
Not
Yes,
as
this was amazing. Thank you so much, Benny. Thank you so much. You hear Dion, legendary performance from those guys. Thank you so much to Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Colorado for hanging out with us at the bar.
Alicia for coming on, and thank you to Canes for also coming here to Stoney's and doing their thing. We will be live and ready to go tomorrow at the start of day 2. I expect it to be an electric couple days.
What time is that?
Check your calendar.
Oh, I thought maybe we plug it to the people. So see us
here.
See us at 5 o'clock tomorrow or so.
Yeah,
I won't be here for what it's worth.
Why not? Where were you going to be?
I'm getting my final fitting for my wedding suit.
We could fit you for
I didn't
that
know you were
suit.
getting married. Congratulations.
Thank you.
4:55 is when that'll be. I'll tell you what, Ryan. You don't need to be on the show. Text us a couple of fun puns, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Like you bring that to the
Yeah,
table.
if you
so
have any
let's keep
takes,
that going.
send them in.
I'm taking
Where are
a
you guys
couple
gonna
of
be?
these Canes hats home.
Where are we going to be?
Tune in to find out.
All right.
Yeah, okay, I will.
You guys and your stupid housekeeping questions. No one asked for it.
You're the
No
general
one's
manager.
being asked to
Can
queue
you
me up
generally
with
manage
times
this?
in studios. I generally didn't manage this. Yeah. Okay.
True.
That's it for us. Thank you all. We're wrapping it up. God bless. Go Broncos.
We all silly like the mayor.